333. R.I.P.P. Don P. Ph.D. Yeah. I said, R.I.P. TV. Tell the homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community. That's what P showed me. We lost without the unity. Where the fuck is the OGs? R.I.P.P. God bless the real. Only for the righteous. The rest will go to hell. Flipping through the book of Revelation. Figure it out. Transliterate the translation. Do it yourself. It's the last days. Life is a test and we in a cage. Concrete jungle. Everyday struggle. Fuck the pain. I'm on some HNIC shit. Hegelian 3 shit. If you don't know what I mean, you was never G. Real shit. R.I.P. Yo, P, play that beat back, 333. Burn some weed, we repeat that. Shake me up a Tuka Pet, break me off for 20 pieces. I'm gone, never looking back. Y'all can't talk to me. R.I.P. TV, tell the homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community. That's what P showed me. We lost without the unity. Where the fuck is the OGs? Like the weed, play some IMD for me. It's hell on earth for real, but y'all don't wanna see paper trail politics. All the shit was prophecy, strictly for the family. Peace to the prodigy. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. Yo.
Yo, what up? You got the Scully way back today.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. Well, yeah, pardon my finishing my food. If you can't tell, I literally just got off the golf course. Walked in and started setting shit up because I was just like, oh, shit, the internet's fixed finally. And so...
Yeah, what was the situation? What was the goings on?
So apparently, according to the text, somebody went up on the roof of our building and fucking cut the wire.
Oh.
So that'll do it.
That'll do it.
I was just like, that's interesting. I don't know who the fuck even has roof access.
Roofies.
Yeah, hey, I know I've been roofied before. Not fun.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. Horrible. I still don't remember that night.
I don't even remember.
Yeah. It's makes you gain a lot of empathy and sympathy for anybody who's been put through that nonsense because you lose a day of life.
No, thank you.
No. Bud Toka, what up, homie? Yeah, fortunately for me, when it fully kicked in, I was leaving where I was at.
Yeah.
So I actually don't remember actually leaving the place. Mm-hmm. But I remember me and this name was Sarah. This white chick named Sarah that I went to this thing with. We were literally on our way out. And that's when everything just went. So I made it out the building before I got raped. That's cool. Who knows what the hell I said to her, but she never spoke to me again after that night. I don't fuck.
It wasn't her who did it.
No, it definitely wasn't.
So it was just like a random drink left. You had your.
Nah, it was we were at an event. You know, it was like an event. It wasn't like just a normal like party or what. It wasn't the club. It was like an event, and they had.
Definitely creeping. Yeah,
they had a waitress walking around with the drinks for everybody. Not shots either, drinks. And me and this chick were getting ready to leave, and I was just like, I had played it smart and didn't take nothing all night, and didn't drink nothing, but I knew what was about to happen. I was just like, it's about to be on, time to lubricate the senses. I grabbed the drink. Now, Kara, here's the funny thing. I remember specifically taking such a random place drink. It wasn't any on the outside that was close to me. It wasn't in the center. It was just a random one off to the side on purpose. All of them were spiked.
Yeah, I was about to say, either you have amazing abilities or they were all juiced.
All of them were juiced, and I took it like we were literally on our way out. And I went like this, home, and wasn't even able to take the cup away from my face before it hit me.
That's crazy.
I was just like, whoa. This is different. I've done a lot of drugs in my professional career. This is different than anything I've ever experienced. And I looked down at the cup, and it turned orange and red and started swirling in a circle. And I knew I was in trouble. Now, the funny part is, before we get into talking about actual football, is in the back of the cab on the way to Queens. Now, for some reason, I ended up back at Infamous Studios instead of the crib. Makes no goddamn sense.
It's your safe zone. What's your safe
Had
zone?
to have been something that the address was just in there, right?
It's my safe zone.
Yeah, so in the cab on the way back, you know how they got those little screens that are playing advertisements and shit? There was an advertisement for Hustle and Flow. You already know what I was saying to this chick.
I know.
Dude, all I remember, the only text message that even made any sense was after I was in the cab by myself, and clearly I had pissed her off because of my inability to control myself at this moment, and she left. I texted her, "It's hard out here for a pimp." Yeah, the best line from the movie. Perfect, right?
It is.
Now, I don't know if she'll ever hear this, but I've never laughed at myself so hard for sending that to her, just because I know the context and the circumstances. She has no idea that Hustle and Flow was literally playing, and I'm just sitting there like,
We're out of your brains.
out of my brain. But I look at it from her side, this fucking intoxicated asshole that she was trying to throw it to, who somehow fumbled the ball.
Damn it, girl, you've done it again.
She's probably telling all her friends, he was such an asshole. Dude, I still laugh. It's been years. I still laugh at the fact that that's what I decided to write this chick.
Buddha, she may have been celibate for the last 10 years now. Who knows?
All I know is it is actually hard out here for a pimp.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't wrong, but yeah. And then I ended up back in Queens, and I walked from Infamous Studios.
Goofling to add to it.
Oh my God. I walked from Infamous up to Kew Gardens, up to the crib, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the time my body was trying to get rid of everything, by the time I made it to the front door, when I opened it, P and Tasia looked at me and said, "What the fuck happened to you?" Dude, I was just covered in sweat. I went through a whole night of being roofied. Who knows what my hair looked like? I had the mohawk back then. The shit was probably sideways.
Right.
And I just looked at him and I said, I'll tell you, I got to go take a shower. Wait until I tell you what happened to me. And then Pete was just always just like, why do you think this shit is funny? Like, you're the only one I know that shit like this happens to and you laugh. I'm like, well, nothing bad happened.
Still here to talk about it.
Yeah. I made it through,
Yeah.
So it's funny, I hit up a bunch of girls that I know, girls that, are with it, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, let me ask you something about getting roofied. Here's the disturbing part about it. 100% of them that I called had been hit before.
Man, that's terrible.
I think it was at least 4 or 5 different girls that I called, and all of them were like, yeah, I've been through that before. I was just like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on out in these streets? And they all said the same thing. Can you walk normal? I was like, yeah, nothing hurts. So you didn't get raped, then you're fine. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Well, an unfortunate segue, which I know we were going to touch upon at some point, is all this shit happening with Deshaun, and the numbers now is what, 15? 19? I don't even know.
Cosby numbers.
But
Here's Carrie. There's not one criminal charge or complaint. This is all.
And the lawyer who's getting all of these women coming to him hasn't shared any complaint, hasn't shared any evidence. So his defense can do its due diligence? Nothing. And has then plastered this all over social media. I don't know. I don't know if this is the lawyer's new way, if that's how they get down now, but I don't know lawyers who lawyer like that.
Me neither. Not successful ones. So the weird thing is, the thought that I had, and I might have actually texted you, is I think Deshaun did this himself. He's trying to get out of there. That's the only way he knows to get out, because he knows he didn't do none of that stuff, and it'll all just disappear. And even
I texted you. I said it's funny how like a few times in free agency history, when a big major free agent wants to leave a team and that team doesn't really want to let him go, all of a sudden allegations, and then all of a sudden they disappear.
Well,
One, whatever settled is settled, done. So I don't. Who knows what to believe? There's not enough information right now to really make an intelligent commentary on it. But it's just really, it's odd. I would.
The
just
timing was so weird on this one.
Look at the amount of people coming out of the woodwork. I don't. It's just.
All right, so Kerry, let me ask you something. We've been watching Deshaun get busy for a long time. It's been, 7-8 years at this point, college and the NFL?
Mm-hmm.
Getting busy at a high level. Have you ever heard a single human being ever say anything negative about him? They've all said the same thing. He's an incredible leader. He's a great person. He takes care of his brothers and sisters. Like, he's been through it with the family and whatnot. He stepped up and took charge. The best teammate ever. Fucking Dabo Sweeney called him Michael Jordan. Like, never once, and even through his whole 4 years or 5 years in the NFL, model citizen, and then all of a sudden you got 19 girls. 19?
Like the minute you want to leave Houston, and they don't want to let you go, and then all of a sudden, I don't know.
Not one of them wanted to get cash out like 3-4 years ago. Every single one of them held on.
Be skeptical.
I know there's that whole believe women thing, but not when the lawyer's the one out front speaking.
I don't understand how a lawyer who has an atomic bomb like this with all these cases, how evidence is not already out and about. I don't know. Again, I just say be skeptical until it all comes to the light.
No, I mean, maybe Deshaun is a monster underneath of the facade, and we don't know it. You never know. He could be Bill Cosby all over again.
I don't know. I don't know anything yet.
But zero evidence and zero criminal charges. That's the big part. There's not been one criminal charge filed.
But then look at what the Texans did. As soon as the 1-2 allegations came out, they signed Tyrod Taylor, and then they got Ryan Finley from the Bengals. So as soon as those charges started creeping up, then they went and they got 2 quarterbacks. That's what I'm saying. We gotta, I don't know. They didn't do that beforehand.
There's some nefarious shit going on with this one, dude.
There's some nefarious shit going on.
That's the best way I can put it. There's some shady fucking shit from one side or both.
Yeah, and it don't smell right. So enough of that. I just wanted to get that out and about.
Dude, that was the perfect transition from me getting roofied into the Deshaun thing. Now we can pass it off. Very well done. Very well done.
I do this.
I mean, we've been doing this for about a year and some change now. We've gone through a whole season.
Word up.
So first of all, let me congratulate you. Kenny Gallaudet. That's a big hit. That's a big one.
Yeah. You know what? So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I mean, it was a big one. And Roger Harper, what up, homie?
Right on time. There he is.
Yo, so, yeah, Roger, we were just touching on the Deshaun Watson 19 girls coming out the woodwork fiasco that's going on now. This is where were they all at before? All of a sudden, they've got 20 girls claiming that he's a monster.
I know that's the bullshit, man, and I feel bad for him. But let me tell you guys my story was something like that.
Yes.
Bill Goldberg, you remember that guy?
Yeah.
Played for Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
He was a teammate of mine. and they was talking about this little massage parlor, Asians and shit, and he pulled me to it. He was like, Harp, I was a rookie and shit. He was like, I'm gonna give you this number. He said, I'm gonna give you the money. I'm paying for it. You tell me, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bill Goldberg sent me to an Asian massage parlor, and they fucking did what they wanted to do to me pretty much. You know, whatever I wanted. You know, it was a massage. They washed me off, steam bath. I mean, it's just like a paid a service, man.
You felt like you were in Zamunda for a second.
Yeah. For them, for this to come down, I mean, I know exactly what it was. It was, and they Texans is that's some bullshit. The Texans, I think they conspired that together and made that happen, man. So,
Well, if you look at all the other shit that's going on in Houston over the last 6 months with that football team and that organization, and then you really dig into the fact that
all the sports organizations out there now.
well, exactly.
yeah.
But if you really look at the football organization itself and you see that, you know, the team chaplain is now the GM and shit, there's some shady shit going on in that alone.
You've had every Hall of Fame type player who's played. I mean, the major ones. I mean, we're talking Andre Johnson, J.J. Watt, and
Nuke.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Get out. They're all saying, they're screaming, get out.
So,
That's not a coincidence.
Not at all. So,
like you said a week ago, and plenty times, Joe, it's a bad look for Houston, man. It's a bad look for Houston.
I mean, it blows my mind that as a GM and a team president or an owner, that you can't look at the residual effects of the decisions that you make. How are you going to get people to come there and play? So if you look at the players they're signing, they all look like, I don't want to call them desperate players, but where else was Mark Ingram going to go?
Exactly.
The tread's done on it. He got no tread left on the tires. Where else was he going to go?
Yep.
You know, they're signing a bunch of those types of players.
Like reclamation projects, like, you know what I'm saying, like, or this is my second chance. They're treating the Texans like the XFL.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Essentially, and you know, Houston's like, they're not afraid to pay them because how else are they going to get people down there? So they're giving them over market value for what they're actually worth. So as a veteran player who, you know, Mark Ingram is just the example in the front of my mind, and you don't really have that many other options, of course you're going to go sign there. Go get this money and keep playing. They're allowing you to keep playing football, and they're paying you well. So fuck yeah, go sign.
Exactly.
The Ryan Finley signing was odd to me. I was just like, really? Ryan Finley? That's who you decided to go grab?
Well, look, from Ryan Finley's perspective, he's looking at an opportunity to play.
Yeah, no, it's for him. It's great. It's just their choice, though.
Ryan Finley, Tyrod Taylor. He's seen the Tyrod Taylor story.
I forgot. Yo, Ryan Finley's about to have an all-pro year.
Pro Bowler this year. Hell yeah, I'm a sign with the damn Texans.
Yeah, no, it's blowing my mind watching this train wreck. How are you? What's an NFL franchise worth these days? $1 billion?
Or I mean, you look
or more? Like, we'll look at the lower level ones. $1 billion.
Dallas worth like four.
4.
Yeah.
So, how do you possibly run $1 billion organization so poorly?
There's some idiots out there for real, just got money.
Yeah, well, Roger Harper, you know that, man, because you've been around some fucking NFL owners and shit, and you're just like, yo, how did this happen?
Look at what your boy's doing with the Washington team. Your boy D. Snyder. Come on now. Is he winning owner of the year?
No,
What he's been doing? And the amount of shorties that he's actually, I mean, they actually got tapes on him.
Tapes.
They got some shit on him.
Tapes of you, him, and Jay Gruden getting busy.
But he had that, and you know, look at what Jim Irsay did a couple years ago. He was getting zooted and all sorts of shit. He had mug shots on him. I didn't really see it like a suspension or like
He stepped.
Punishment?
Nah, he stepped away from team activities for like 2 weeks or something stupid.
Way?
Yeah,
On his own volition?
he stepped away.
Wow, that's amazing. that must be amazing to do when you have like a problem and you just got to take care of it and you don't get fined to death and then lose the opportunity to do your job. Okay, amazing.
Well, I mean, I will not say this one was white privilege. This one was green privilege because Jim Irsay is fucking loaded.
I'm saying, yeah.
Dude, he bought like all the instruments that the Beatles used to play. He spent like $30 million on drum sets and guitars and shit like that.
What?
Because when you have that much money, why not?
Lord.
Yeah. Like, honestly.
If you bought the catalog like Michael Jackson did, then you get that money.
Nah, Jim Irsay has a rock band apparently. Like he's like wants to be a rock star. So he's like into buying expensive guitars and shit, $1 million guitars.
Jim Dolan should party then.
Hey, old Jamie Dolan, man. Yo, that guy was the worst. James Dolan used to remember. Still is, yeah. But remember he used to book major artists at Madison Square, and then his band would open up for him.
Yeah. Oh, on the night of the draft, where you get players from college to hopefully make your team better to go for a championship, he was at City Winery playing with his band.
Yeah.
He wasn't even at the Garden. It was like right there. No. He was further downtown with his band playing. And you're supposed to sell us on the idea
that you care.
Yeah, that you care. That the
care. Well, I mean, James Dolan he's probably sending fucking whatever it is that Easterby and Cal McNair like to drink or smoke or whatever. He's got to be sending them cases like, yo, you took my title as the worst owner in sports away. Thank you.
They're all homies, though. They're all homies.
Yeah, of course they are.
They are literally laughing about this.
Yeah.
They don't.
Dude, when you're a billionaire, there are no consequences.
They don't give a shit. So it's fine. They're just letting it all play out. I don't even know if it's chess pieces. It's checker pieces right now.
It's tiddlywinks, dude. This is tiddlywinks. This isn't even checkers. But, when you have a lack of consequences, you're going to do dumb shit like this. And when you're that rich, they call it paying your debt to society for a reason. You either do the time or you pay the fine. And if you have enough money, you can pay your way out of anything that happens. Yep. And you see it happen all the time. So, Flea, that's hilarious. Flea says, yo, is it Nice's fault that if Russell Wilson leaves Seattle? And if he does, is he still Nice's guy? I don't know.
Hey, it will always be Nice's guy. Of course it'll be Nice's guy. I don't know. What Russ has going on right now, it's funny. Russ wrote a tweet the other day congratulating Chris Carson, his boy, for getting his money. But then you look at any sports show, they're like, well, what does it mean? He's being like, he's not really saying what he means. He always does this. It's like, he's just congratulating his boy. Like, stop reading into it. Like,
well, all right, so if you want to read into it for about 2 weeks, now, if you know your Russell Wilson history, from the second he was drafted until about 3 weeks ago, at the end of every single interview, he said, go Hawks. Without fail. Every single one, go Hawks. For about 2 weeks, he did not say go Hawks. And I was just like, uh-oh.
I know.
But
I heard they paid a lot of money for a couple offensive linemen for him.
Thank you. And he also did say, no matter, let's make this year the best year we can make it. He's given them a year
to figure it out.
Go back to the grocery store. Go back to Target, Kroger's, wherever you get your Piggly Wiggly, wherever you get your stuff, HEB, and give me some shit I can work with, please.
So you see who he's gutted for right now. Openly campaigning for Antonio Brown. Seattle's going to make it happen to try to get him to stay there.
We tried to get him last time.
Yes, they did. But he wanted to stick with Tom.
Yeah.
So now the thing is, he still wants to stick with Tom, but Seattle might throw him so much money he can't say no. Because you remember, he had that big deal in Pittsburgh and then kind of lost that deal doing all that. They were able to void his contract.
Right.
So you're looking at a lack of income, a big contract that he basically shitted away. So if Seattle throws him enough money, he's going to go there.
But is it going to be enough to tear him away from home? Because now he's older now.
Yeah.
Now he's already at the crib. He's in Florida. Oh, I don't.
And he's with Tom, man. It's hard to leave Tom.
They re-signed that. See, if they would have lost free agents, if they would have lost Shaq, and then I don't know if Gronk didn't return. I don't know if they would have lost more people. Then he could have been like, well, maybe let me.
The whole band's coming back, man. Just try to run it back one more time.
So instead of him going out getting the bag, I think he's gonna cut his bag so he could stay there.
Especially if he, because you got to remember, Antonio Brown's season for the Bucs was pretty short.
Yeah.
So if you can play a full season without incident, and you can contribute, which he will. He's fucking Antonio Brown, dude. Like, let's be realistic about his ability on the field. It's fucking Antonio Brown. So then he will set himself up for a much bigger payday than what Seattle might be able to give him right now.
Also, from a legacy standpoint, you have now changed the narrative on yourself. You've gone from someone who you were looking very Kanye-ish at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? And we were like, oh, we have to separate. Us at the Black Caucus have to separate ourselves from you, Antonio. But now we like, all right, there you go. There you go, buddy.
Yeah, you guys are rescinding your trade offer.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all right, that's all right. Just go and give him a cup of cognac. You'll be okay. Not too much.
He was going to have to get traded to the Latino contingency because white people are too conservative for all the shit he was doing, dude. But, so it's going to be really interesting to see what he does because you are right, Kerry. And it's very difficult to change the narrative, especially when it goes that negative on you. It's really hard. But this is America, and America loves a redemption story. It's always been that way, no matter what causes your fall. If you can rise from the ashes, though.
He's winning at home. He's winning in Florida.
And dude, you're with Tom. Just fucking stick with Tom, dude. But all right, so if he does go to Seattle, Russell Wilson's leadership is very present. Like, he is a good on-field general, off-field general. So then you have the in-place leadership that's needed, but it's not Tom.
It's not Tom. But then I was going to also say, plus, Russ got his fingerprints all over those young receivers, especially DK Metcalf. So these guys are unshakable at this point. They know how to be pros, and you could risk it if it ever came to that. Bring in an Antonio, and it won't upset the pot at all.
So all right. So let's look at a roster standpoint. They already have Antonio Brown 2.0. His name's Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
So how much of an upgrade from Tyler Lockett is Antonio Brown given Russ's rapport with Tyler? Yeah. I don't think it is an actual upgrade.
Right.
But if Russ is like, yo, I want him in order to keep Russ, I think they'll go for it. I think they'll take a swing at Antonio just to see if they're going to do whatever they can to keep Russ there.
They need to get some offensive linemen, and they need to get They need to figure out their edge rushing situation. And let's also remember, they lost Shaquille Griffin. So
they lost their best quarter.
Got weaker. They got some holes to fill, and the hole is not wide receiver.
Yeah, it's not. That's why this is also weird, but I think it's a desperation move by the front office to try to keep Russ as long as they can. But you also have to look at the other moves that have been made. So apparently Chicago offered Seattle 3 number ones, a 2, a 3, and I think it might have been 1 or 2 players. Mm-hmm. And Seattle turned it down. And that's why Chicago went and signed Andy Dalton. So apparently when everybody went to, what's the kid's name from South Dakota? Trey Waynes? That's not
Oh, no, Lance.
Lance, yeah. So apparently at his pro day, the GMs and the owners, no, it was the owners from Chicago and fucking Seattle were there. It had like an off-the-books meeting, and we're trying to negotiate because everybody was just looking at him like, the fuck are the owners doing at this pro day? Like, why didn't you send scouts? Why is ownership? Well, they were there so they could have their little meeting. It wasn't about looking at this Lance kid at all.
Sure.
So they had their little meeting and it didn't work out. So then they turned around and quickly like that. Oh, we'll get the red rocket. Fuck it, and then try to aim for next year. So Chicago basically just kind of like their season's basically set. If I'm Allen Robinson, I'm fucking pissed.
In that regard, then it makes sense why they went after Kenny Gallaudet, because then they want to entice. If they were going to go free agent quarterback, they were like, look who we have, about both Allen and Gallaudet, because they could just franchise Allen again.
Yeah. So let's transition into the Kenny Gallaudet thing, since you are a resident Giants fan. What I was going to say before we kind of veered off into some other shit is Kenny Galladay's statement. Now, I know you get signed, you're going to say all the right things. You aren't going to go in there and be like, well, Danny sucks, but I just got paid. That's not going to happen. He came in and said, well, I want to grow with Danny Dimes. So my question is, I don't know how long he's been in the league because I don't watch the Lions. How old is Kenny Gallaudet? He's young, right?
27, 28.
Look, so that 4-year deal, he's going to play all 4 of those years probably. At least 3 before. So that's going to be the story of Danny Dimes.
So, in all actuality, who Kenny Gallaudet could be to Danny Dimes is what Amani Toomer was to Eli, because Amani Toomer was the vet receiver at that time. They brought in Plaxico, who, Gallaudet's going to have to be both Plaxico and Amani Toomer. But that's what it was. You had a tall receiver who Eli could just throw with confidence 50-50 balls all day long.
Yeah.
And he knew he could get it. And then Amani Toomer was just the steady Eddie veteran on the other side. Danny definitely needed a big receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Because the biggest cat he was throwing to was Evan Ingram, who, I'm sorry, when you're targeted double the times of your receptions, I'm sorry, that's terrible.
Yeah.
You are a paid professional, a catcher of the football. You can't have 100 targets and 50 catches. I'm sorry, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Which is why, they got Kyle Rudolph, which 10-year vet.
Stability, leadership.
Actually, red zone, green zone target, 6'7", 6'5" to 6'7". He is actually reliable in that, because I've seen when we got down there was no reliable receiver. None.
Yeah, how do you expect a young quarterback to grow without the pieces around them?
Yeah, so that's key. Listen, we definitely paid over market value for each of our signings, because we got a Dory Jackson as well. But I will say this: young, he's 25. He's an electric punt kick returner, and he can cover. Fast guy out of USC.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at that. You pair him up with Bradbury on the other side. I'm not actually mad at that. And then Gallaudet, also thinking about this, may have overpaid now, but that TV money's coming. So I'm not really.
Thank you. That $250 million salary cap is only a few years away. Realistically, 3 years.
You paid Leonard. You gave him 4. You gave Gallaudet 4. You gave Adoree Jackson 3. By the time the TV money hits, you reassess, and who knows where we are then? You know what I'm saying? Leonard, if he plays the way he played this past season, not worried about it. Actually, the defenses I wasn't worried about.
Yeah, no, Bradbury was getting busy all year.
Legit. Absolutely legit. I need to see what we're going to do on that line. Just hopefully the line continues to develop. I saw something very disturbing, the Giants were at 46% in terms of line being able to hold their blocks for 2.5 seconds.
Whoa.
Giants were at 46%.
That's terrible.
So only 46% of the time were they able to maintain their block.
Long enough for a 5-step drop. 2.5 seconds, Roger Harper. That's a 5 to 7 step drop and release.
Hit on Danny a lot, but no quarterback. I don't care who you are not going to have success.
No, never.
There's no way.
Tom Brady is the only one who only needs 2 seconds because he's getting rid of it in 2 seconds regardless.
But also, you're talking about the brain.
Yeah. And then also, let's be realistic here, Kerry. 20 years in New England's offensive line, Tom Brady left games without a single mark on it, not even a green dot on his uniform many times. And then he goes down to Tampa, it's more of the same. It was a little bit rough in the beginning of the year, but as they got better, dude, by the time the play...
Yeah.
You remember...
We're on the damn bench.
They went to the bench. They put A.Q. Shipley in at center, and we talked about it, dude. They changed the whole offensive line after Tom yelled at everybody.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a whole different story. But also, Danny can run. He can run.
Can run, and what they needed to bake that more. They started baking that more into the offense later. Then he got the hammy and all that. So then they had to kind of chill. I look for a lot more RPO in the upcoming season. Plus, you have Saquon back, which now gives you the added threat because if he pitches to Saquon, you're going to be focused on Saquon. I don't care who you are as a defender. You're not going to worry more about Danny running the ball than you are about Saquon.
Nope.
He will have plenty of opportunities to get yards. Plenty on the ground. That's when he's at his best.
All right, so let's talk about some of these other free agent signings that happened since last Tuesday. The Washington football team is considering keeping that name permanently.
Yeah.
They said the fan input, the majority of the fans kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
You know what? It's like anything else. You get used to it after a while.
I mean, soccer teams have called themselves football club forever. So whatever. Washington football team. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares?
Like there's other things they need to be concerned about, like their owner, than their name. Right
it's the Washington Chase Youngs. That's what they are right now.
But also, I will say this. Now, it all depends on how they utilize him. Because there are teams, there are coaches who just, when they get a player like this, they don't know what to do with him, and then they get wasted. Curtis Samuel was a big signing.
Well, that's the first signing I'm looking at. That's why I brought them up.
I think that was a dope signing, but the key is, will you look at what Carolina did when they finally figured it out? It was after McCaffrey got hurt. And they're like, man, we need Mike Davis, serviceable running back, just signed with Atlanta, 2-year deal, but he's not he's not what you would call a playmaker. Curtis Samuel's a playmaker.
Curtis Samuel's is he's Percy Harvin light.
Yeah, and so once they started using him in the backfield, him in slot, him on the outside, it changed everything for them. Now they were back on it. So if Washington can figure out, Ryan Fitzmagic is a smart dude. So yeah. I'm sure he'll
figure it out.
He'll figure that thing out. But I think that's a huge get. And then you have Gibson, Antonio Gibson, and then you got McLaurin, and then you got the tight end.
Logan Thomas.
Yeah. And then that defense is beastly.
You know what? I mean, it's funny because Ron Rivera has quickly built himself up a very young, talented roster.
Yes, he has. And they all believe in him. They will run through brick walls for this man.
I mean, and
he
then
didn't have an answer for that to happen. He already had their mindset that way.
And well, then you also have to look at the team leadership itself. They are willing, if you're willing to put a captain's badge on a rookie and be like, no, he's fucking leading the charge. You already know what type of player he is, so you've got that guy. So everybody in the locker room, whether you like it or not, you have to listen to him.
Also, pay attention at the end of games. Who other players go up to? After that playoff game, Tom Brady went up to Chase Young.
Yep.
Pay attention. These things matter because the great ones see the greatness in the young ones.
All right, so a side note off of that. New England beats Kansas City in the AFC Championship game whenever Chris Jones lined up offsides, right?
D Ford,
excuse me. I knew it was one of those. God damn it. I was close.
Give it to the right one.
Single syllable names. I knew I was close. So anyway, D Ford lines up offsides. After the game, Tom Brady goes into Kansas City's locker room to go talk to Patrick Mahomes.
Wow. Yeah.
Went into their locker room amongst, and you know all the Kansas City players, they're not going to say shit. It's fucking Tom Brady just walked in.
I know. Yeah.
You know, and then they see Tom Brady walking up and talking to Patrick Mahomes, and they're just like, well, yeah, we got the guy now. That's the guy. Yeah, Tom knows he's the guy.
Oh, they know. You gotta pay attention to these meetings on the field afterwards. They have meaning.
Of course they do, because, you know, the players respect true talent. They see it. Not a contract or not a scheme or anything like that, or coaches' decisions.
Jalen Ramsey talks to DK Metcalf after the game, and he's just like, all right.
All right.
I talk shit, and I say I'll shut you down, but man, we battled today.
Yeah, motherfucker. I mean, you got to respect that. He had to say it looking up at him, too. Like, yo, dude, you are the fucking man. Because DK Metcalf is huge, dude.
And I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to be really interested to see what the Rams' plan is now. You lost not one, but two starters in the defensive secondary when John Johnson III leaves to go to Cleveland, and you lose your slot corner, too.
That's the big one.
Yes.
The
huge.
slot quarter is a big deal with the NFL.
Yeah, I'm looking at your D a little shaky now. I mean, you still got studs, no question, and you still have some young linebackers coming up. But I need to see who's in that secondary.
Well, they got the bookends are good. That rookie corner played out of his fucking mind.
Yeah, Williams. He
Williams,
played well.
And then Ramsey. Forget that's the best corner in football. We don't even need to talk about him.
Yeah.
He's so physically gifted. It's just retarded.
Situation looking like. I need to see what your safeties.
See, that's a big deal. So you saw, speaking of safeties, Keanu Neil signs with the Cowboys. Moves from safety down to weak side linebacker.
He's a thumper. I'm not even like surprised.
He's a thumper, but he's really light.
He's smaller. I guess they're looking at him because Cardinals are famous for doing that, but they move their safeties down the linebacker all the time. That's an interesting move. I don't know if that's going to make them a better D.
All right, so let me ask you something, Roger. The Cowboys, their secondary was absolute gutter trash last season.
Yes,
Yeah.
Like, terrible. So then you sign a safety, and then you move him down to linebacker.
They're still in the same position they was in before.
Thank you. That's what
Actually, they're a little bit lighter than before because now your weak side linebacker only weighs about 200 pounds.
Exactly. So, I don't know. That was.
It's an interesting move. I see that they're trying to get fast on defense. That's a speed thing. Let's get fast. But
I kind of think with the Jimmy Johnson mindset, but then you gotta have the right people. Darren Woodson still played safety.
Yes.
Like, you know, he played linebacker in college, safety and linebacker in college, but in the league he played safety.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have the right focus.
I just remember Keanu Neil in that Super Bowl being so light and fast. I'm just like, that's the last time I really saw him play because Atlanta sucks since then.
He also has injury issues. Another thing, Dallas has to figure out what they're going to do with Sean Lee. Sean Lee, yes, he was one of the. He was a really, really dynamic, great linebacker when he was healthy. But that was the thing. He was healthy.
You let him go because you got what's that kid's name? Van Esther.
They finally did let him go.
No, I'm saying that's the move is you let that motherfucker go because you got this guy, Clayton Van, whatever his name is.
Sean Lee, if he's still on your roster, he's taking up a roster spot.
And a lot of money.
Sorry. You know, this is like, but this is like no feelings. This is business at this point. Like, I'm sorry you did your thing, but you're not serving us no purpose right now. We got Van Der Esch and we got Jalen. We need to like move on and like invest that money into a corner who can cover or a safety who can like make sure that we're good in the defensive backfield because there were so many blown assignments. It was just like in that Falcons game. The Falcons got a humongous lead because Dallas was blowing assignments all over the place. And then it was in the second half, Falcons doing what the Falcons do, that allowed them to come back because Dak was doing his thing. But
who is Dallas's defensive coordinator?
Now it's man. Ooh, his name is escaping my head right now. A decent one now, but it's his first year because they got rid of the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It'll pop into your head. So, here's a question I have for both of you. AJ Green, who Kerry knows is one of my all-time favorite NFL players.
He's moving. I'm feeling.
Goes to Arizona of all places. So, my question is, what does that mean for Larry Fitzgerald?
Nothing. Larry gets to do whatever he wants.
Thank you. I mean, they better keep him and let him do what he wants.
Yeah, Larry gets to leave on his own terms.
Yeah, you're talking probably the third best wide receiver who's ever played.
No effect on that.
Yeah. But it's Larry's numbers went down big time last season. Huge.
Well,
I think he had like 400 yards receiving total.
Well, also, you have Hopkins.
You have Hop there.
Toy in the box at receiver.
And the white tight end with the brown hair flapping out the yeah. Yeah, he could play.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn.
Thank you, Dan Quinn. I was like, it's a name we know.
That's why Keanu Neil got signed there. He's a Dan Quinn guy.
Yes, it was jumping out of my head. It's Quinn, Dan Quinn.
Well, I can't wait to watch the Cowboys blow leads consistently this year's season coming up because that's what Dan Quinn does. Gary, I know you like that one. I know you love that.
They are targeting Patrick Surtain II. They get him that lends legitimacy to their defensive backfield. I don't know if he takes Diggs' place because Diggs got beat like an African drum all season. Hopefully he can get better because I just don't like, even though I don't like the organization, I don't like to see players just get routinely embarrassed like that. That's not a good look. I don't like that. But Surtain, awesome pro day. We know, all take it with a grain of salt. But I will say this, ran like a
4.46,
high 4.3. He put up
4.46 pro day
times, vert like 39 inches. I mean, he has all the measurables. And Nick Saban, who loves defense, especially corners.
He's got Nick Saban and he's got lineage. It's Patrick Surtain Jr. and his dad was a beast.
Didn't get enough credit when he was in the league. Didn't go to enough Pro Bowls, but that guy was a baller.
Well, you guys have to remember during that Miami run, it was about 3 to 4 seasons. They had the best corner tandem in football easily.
And safeties, their defensive back and like the back seven, the whole defense. Shit, all of them.
All right, so the AJ Green thing, it's kind of weird to me. I know AJ's just trying to go play somewhere that's not Cincinnati for a change.
That's what I was saying, and I was wondering who was going to kick the tires. It ended up being Arizona, and I don't hate it because you have you're trying to transition one legend out, and AJ Green, before the injuries started piling up, him and Julio, they were just like battling who's the number one.
Until the injuries happened, AJ Green went to the Pro Bowl every single year he was in the NFL.
All pro out the gate. He
was the face of Cincinnati.
Exactly.
Roger, he's one of my favorite NFL players because he's the prototypical physical. He has the height, he has the route running ability, he uses his hands, he's smart, he can high point, which is, it blows my mind that some of these wide receivers don't understand how to high point a fucking football. There was somebody's pro day.
Gotta kick the tires on that guy.
Yeah, I would. There was somebody's pro day that they just had that somebody had a 46.3 inch vertical.
Ooh. I don't know what that means. Yeah.
That means he's getting drafted. That's what that means.
That means you're gonna see him in the Avengers.
I mean, probably, but somebody's going to draft him just off of that alone. Somebody's going to be like, listen, we just go to the red zone and throw it up in the air. This guy got to jump out the fucking building. 46.3, that is up there, dude.
Remember, Jones, who was the safety corner for Dallas, came out of Connecticut. They didn't know who he was until he did the broad jump and he broke the record, and they were like, who wait, who is this?
Not only did he break the record, he broke the world record broad jump. It wasn't the NFL Combine record.
He broke, at the combine, he broke the world record. So they were like, yeah, you come.
And then look what happened to him. They mispositioned him.
At corner, then they made him a safety.
They put him to safety. He started making Pro Bowls. I hate it when teams do that. That's the whole Keanu Neil thing. You're going to move this guy off of the position he's played his entire career, move him down inside the box.
Listen, when Keanu Neil was at University of Florida, this dude was decapitating people. I was like, he's definitely going to the league. Probably going to get some fines, but people are going to be well aware where he is at all times, and he's going to stop plays from happening. Just him being on the field and him being in the area, because everybody watches tape and they're going to know. So moving him to linebacker though, he doesn't bring that same fear factor because he's not starting 15 yards back with a full head of steam. So
I want to see what's he going to do whenever a blocking tight end comes out and engages him face to face at 200 pounds.
What would have been more interesting is if they would have put him in a position like how the Chiefs use Honey Badger.
Exactly.
That would be more interesting.
You would think that more NFL teams would adopt that strategy of having a kind of hybrid player, safety, can cover like a corner, can play outside linebacker, and just let them just let them roam to wherever they're needed for the play. Yeah. But they don't.
Once we started doing that with our safety, he started figuring it out. Now he's like playing like he's back in Michigan.
I mean, sometimes you got to let the players just play off of instinct. You can't just keep forcing them to do things. Just let them play the game.
Animal instinct.
We had a running back in high school who literally never even played football before. But he could run, and dude, when they put a helmet on him and gave him the ball, spin move, stiff arm, hurdling, it was just like, this guy he's never played before. Where did this come from?
You know what? Survival. Like, some people just have it, some others don't. Some people just have it.
Dude, he was getting busy, man. He was getting busy. So, before, we got about 3 minutes left before I got to re-up. Will Fuller goes to the Dolphins.
Yeah. You needed someone who could separate. They didn't have the receivers.
I still think that's a move to try to get Deshaun into Miami.
I get it, but because in terms of who they're looking to draft, they're looking at maybe Jalen and Waddell to get him back with Tua, who also provides speed to take off the top. So, I mean, and Tua can get it down the field.
Yeah.
You needed speed at the position. You just did.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting sign. And then the one that Roger and myself were texting about was money-making Mitch moving up to Buffalo.
I love that move for them.
Yeah, see, that's what
I love that move for him, and I love that move for them.
That's what I said, Roger. It makes so much sense given the success that their offensive coordinator and their staff has had in building Josh Allen. So it's like he's going to like quarterback camp for a year. And they even said it. We don't even expect him to be here past a year. And if something happens to Josh Allen, Mitch can run. He can run the RPOs. He can run the same offense. So it's like it's a good insurance policy.
Yeah.
And it'll give Mitch the opportunity to learn, prove himself, and then maybe go get a gig somewhere else.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It just makes a lot of sense.
He needed to get out of Chicago. It wasn't going to happen for him in Chicago. He needed to get out of there. The pressure of being the number one overall, well, number two, but like their first, he needed to get out of there.
Yeah, all right, so let me shut this one down, and I'll see you guys in 1 minute.
Yeah.
All right, let me add these guys back in. You figure I would upgrade my Zoom, and I just have not done it yet. I don't know why I'm being so fucking stubborn about that shit. You guys have to forgive me. I'll be high. You know it. It's funny that I invite Nice to all of these in hopes that he might show up one day. I kind of expected him not to be around. during the offseason. Yeah, Flea. I don't sleep on Mitch's ability. Sometimes you get the team, the infrastructure, the coaching staff, the support staff, the scheme, the teammates. You know, he might not even have had nobody outside of Allen Robinson to even throw it to. Although, what was that? They got the big young white tight end, Kale or Caleb or something like that. He could play. But, I mean, you know, you got Allen Robinson and then who? Like, who the fuck are you going to throw it to? Yeah, who the fuck was, who they even got in Chicago to throw the ball to outside of Allen Robinson? What's that tight end's name? It starts with a C, right? That white dude.
Oh, yeah, K.
K,
out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, he could play.
He could play. Also, you have to remember, Calvin Ridley's younger brother, who played at Clemson and beat Alabama in the chip, is playing with Chicago. He needs more touches. I think he's going to be a real one. He just needs more opportunities. And they got that fast receiver. I can't remember his name. There's a quick receiver, super fast. He got limited opportunities. And also, when the opportunities he did get, neither one of the quarterbacks could get him the ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, could they even get him the ball? Yeah, Kmet. Kmet was the tight end, isn't it?
Yeah, Kmet. Yeah, K-M-E-T. K-M-E-T.
Yeah. Riley Ridley. Riley Ridley is the younger Ridley.
Riley Ridley. And there's another receiver. He's fast. He would get in, like, third downs, and, like, they would try to do the big plays with him. But they just would not connect. Like a couple times, very rare.
I mean, you look at the Chicago's decision since they couldn't land Russell, and it doesn't look like they got even a shot with Deshaun. The decision to sign Andy Dalton is basically punting until next season.
Well, also, they figured out how to run the rock with David Montgomery later in the year.
Yeah.
They need to figure that out faster, and then do like the Chicago teams that have mattered always ran the rock.
Same thing with Pittsburgh.
Run the rock.
It's the exact same story with Pittsburgh. If they can't run the ball, they're not going to win.
On the rock, play tough D. Quarterback, don't fuck this up for us. Maybe Allen Robinson can be Willie Gault. You know what I mean?
So Nick Foles just signed. Who did he just sign with to be the backup?
Did he go back to Philly?
Yeah.
Made sense.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to do that. Made perfect sense. That's where his statue is. He's not going to get any better love than he will in Philly.
You're definitely, listen, Nick Foles, you're definitely not getting another statue anywhere else, buddy.
Listen, this is his third stint in Philly.
He should just stay there, yo.
He should stay there. Just shut it down. Like, stop. He doesn't need to chase any more contracts. You got it. You got the ring, the statue, and the money.
Yeah.
Son, you straight. Even if you, again, everyone who has heard my voice has heard me say what the best job in America is. Backup quarterback. Everybody knows this about me. If he's just the backup quarterback there with a statue outside, you are winning at life, my friend.
You won at life, and, dude, just stay within the friendly confines of the city of Philadelphia where you are a hero.
You are the reason they got their only Super Bowl. Where you going? Where are you going? I doubt you pay for food or drinks ever again.
Ever.
Where you going?
What business owner in Philadelphia is going to charge that man for anything?
Come on. Stop it.
You brought that city its only Super Bowl title.
Come on.
And you beat the GOAT to make it happen.
Who had one of the greatest Super Bowl ever.
He did 500.
No turnovers.
No turnovers, no punts, over 500 yards.
And you still won. And what they talk about? The Philly special, which is bullshit because that wasn't even the Philly special. Another team had done that already previously, but since it worked in the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl in which they won, it got dubbed the Philly Special.
Yep.
See, winners get to dictate what history is.
History's always written by the winners, but here's the funny thing. It wasn't even called Philly Special. Go back and watch the replay. It's actually called Philly Philly.
Or Philly Philly. But then
they changed it to Philly Special, and now it will be branded that for history.
Forever.
Which is hilarious, because if you watch the tape, he says...
Forever be known as the Philly Special.
Yeah, he walked over to the coach, and he says, yo, Philly Philly.
We're the first fucking team to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
As a matter of fact, the Patriots tried it earlier, and fucking Tom dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like... That's what was so funny about how the Patriots whiffed on that one so bad. You guys just tried that. You literally just tried it, and it didn't work.
I know, but Tom was looking... It was looking like a 6'3" 40 at that time. It was looking pretty bad.
I mean, he does have historically the slowest 40 in combine history. Which is hilarious. You know, hilarious.
I mean, it makes me think if Jared Lorenzen ran the 40. Because that dude was a 300-pound quarterback.
The hefty lefty.
Jared, hefty lefty.
Boy, he could sling it, though. Jesus, God.
Good.
So, as expected, Kyle Van Noy goes back to the Patriots. We all knew that was going to happen. That was so easy.
Happy returns. Like, these are, like, players who just went back to where they were.
Hey, happy for him. He went and got a big payday. Now you can go back where you won a couple titles at, you know. He was there for years, so he's got, you know, his...
Trent Brown did the same thing.
Trent Brown did the exact same thing. That's such a hoodie thing to do. Yeah, come back for cheap.
So we're not going to pay you, even though they're like, are you sure, hoodie? Because you're paying a lot of people right now. What?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have a couple extra bucks to pay Randy Moss then? Wait, what? I would have found it. I wouldn't have let Randy go. I'm sorry. That would have been the first time I'd have broke my rules. I would have never let Randy go.
Boy, he didn't break them for anybody until Tom left and won a Super Bowl, though.
Right. Then he was like, I think I got to break some rules.
I think Robert Kraft called him, and they were probably watching the Super Bowl together. Robert just looked at him like, here's a blank check.
I would have figured that out before then.
Oh, my dude, it's fucking Randy Moss. He had 27 goddamn touchdown catches in one season. Are you kidding me?
That thing out.
In the NFL.
That guy, with that quarterback, we are going to make it back to that game, and we are not going to lose. Period. Can't convince me different.
And then look at the drafts post Randy Moss.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So you look what they added.
Kimbrell.
Like, oh my, Kimbrell Tompkins, Jesus Christ. He did win one game for him though.
He did.
He did win one, and that was it. So Anthony Harris also signs with the Eagles. So you're going to look at the Vikings are probably going to draft a safety to fill in that spot because they still have what's his name, Harrison Smith.
I guess he's going to be a lifer.
Yeah, whether he likes it or not, he's staying up there.
Oh, I guess so. I just think if he moved, like you could get some good juice out of him. Like the safety, his name is slipping my mind right now, who's with the Chargers for dumb long, and then he switched and he went to Baltimore, and then he like really helped him out, the white safety.
Weddle. Eric Weddle.
Yes. I feel like he could be the new Eric Weddle right now for a defense who's on the verge of really taking the next step. They just need that quarterback at the safety spot.
All right, so here's the odd thing about that team. They let him go. Anthony Harris goes. And they sign Patrick Peterson. But Patrick Peterson is going to play corner there. It's just like there's an open safety spot, Pat. Just move over there. What are you doing? Just extend your career. That's the ego in him being like, nah, I'm a corner. Well, we saw you play corner last year, and for the first time in your entire career, you were getting burnt, homie. And I'm a huge Patrick Peterson fan. He was getting toasted.
I know. But, listen, he didn't go to the same team, but he went to the same division where Charles Woodson made the switch. Maybe someone can talk him into it.
Well, I'm also thinking that maybe possibly he transitions maybe at camp
Yeah,
or the off season.
I'm hoping so.
You know, maybe they draft a corner and then just kind of tell them like, "Yo,
let's talk to him." Maybe that's why they kept Harrison Smith to be like, "Hey, you know what? I could really use you back here."
yeah," because now you allow Harrison Smith to come down in the box and be active in the front, and you can allow Patrick to just use your brain, homie. Use your football IQ.
They are both ball hawks.
Yes.
You put them both at safety. Come on now.
So the only thing is you move him to safety, you gotta look at who the fuck are their corners though. Well, you just throw out routes and comebacks all day.
Well, I mean, they got young. Oh, well, listen, they're gonna get linebackers, but that's why now you draft an athletic linebacker on the outside who can run or in the middle, someone who can clean that shit up. They got rid of so many cats. They're gonna get young guys coming up. So yeah, give me some speed, especially give me some speed at the middle, and then give me some speed at strong side linebacker. We'll figure that shit out. We'll figure it out.
So what do you think about the Browns with their additions? They're making smart moves too.
They needed to get better in the defensive secondary. They did that instantaneously. And we're talking about just the free agents they signed, but also they're getting Grant Delpitt, who was one of the best safeties in the league in college on a national championship squad, who was hurt all last season. They're going to get him back. They signed Talk McKinley, who was a first-round draft pick at DN. Hasn't lived up to his potential, but you have Myles Garrett on the other side. He may be able to pick up numbers. Myles Garrett, who's now going to be several months away from Rona, that's going to really help him out. They did pick up a linebacker from the Indianapolis Colts, which Darius Leonard was very sad that he left. I mean, that's going to be big for them. Yeah, I really like what they did. They didn't need to. The best thing that they did on offense was re-sign Rashad Higgins.
Yeah,
I thought it was a huge re-signing.
No, we talked about that for weeks because that was on third down. That's who Baker went to.
Yep, Baker trusts him. He knows him from his rookie year when they were both on scout, doing their thing together. So,
you know how many times that we've talked about that? How like a backup quarterback comes in and then the fourth and fifth receiver just starts getting busy. Well, that's because they play together every day.
That's who I throw to. That's my man, of course. Yes, that's what I throw the rock to. So I thought that was huge.
Troy Hill.
Yeah, Troy Hill. That's the slot. Yeah.
So Cleveland's making some power moves this offseason.
He was one of the best slot corners in the league.
Which, as I've said it numerous times, that's the hardest position to play on defense.
Absolutely.
You're literally just in open space trying to chase the most athletic guys on the field.
Yep.
And when you tell me, and Bill Callahan runs the squad, the offensive line, when you tell me Baker had guys in a game that he just met in the locker room, or they played, and they still got busy, I'm not worried about their offensive line.
Oh man, I love the ascent of Baker Mayfield into the next level. I love it.
The only storyline truly to watch is how Odell gets baked back into this situation where we now have a clear vision on how we are successful. And that's with our two studs behind Baker. That is our clear. So what are we going to do?
Plus you got Austin Hooper got really busy at the end of the year.
Right, because he got more comfortable. He started getting healthier. I don't know what's going to happen with Njoku if he's now over it and it's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to play my position, and the opportunities I get are the opportunities I get, or if he's going to try to go someplace else. But he's also been oft injured in his career.
Very injured.
Say the best move for him, career-wise, would just be stay put.
Stay where you're at because that's an ascending team, while the rest of that division is all kind of taking a step back.
Then if you look at it, if you are now looked at as a player who has accepted a role where you came in, you were drafted to be the man, it didn't work out because injury problems. They brought in someone else who was steadier, less injured than you, and you decided to still stay with the program and be a team player. that could actually earn you
Yeah.
money down the line. You could end up having a 15-year career just being that guy who then comes in. Look at Kyle Rudolph. It's year 10, 11. Giants just paid him.
I mean,
So-
every NFL roster will have a couple roster guys. Like they don't really contribute that much on the field like they used to, but it's all about the locker room and the leadership and the things that they bring, the experience, things of that nature. So, the other interesting free agent push is from the Chiefs. They get rid of 2 tackles, Eric Fisher and whoever the other guy was, I don't even remember. But then they signed Kyle Long, which was a surprise. We all thought he was going to Vegas to go be a Raider, following his dad's footsteps. I don't know how they landed Kyle Long. Kyle Long's like, yo, I'm trying to win the fucking Super Bowl. Fuck the fucking the Raiders. But they also signed Joe Thuney.
That was the hugest one right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Massive.
That's a Pro Bowler.
Absolutely. Massive signing. I said that out the gate.
So they lose 2 tackles, but they actually upgraded on their offensive line.
Rated. Yeah, big time. And
Good move
now-
by their GM. Very smart moves.
Because another offensive lineman, Mike Remmers.
Yeah, Remmers.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
And you know why we know Mike Remmers? Because he's been a good player in this league.
Yeah. So you're looking at they completely revamped their offensive line because the tackles are what let them down.
So now it's going to be interesting to see which running backs return. Because we know Edwards-Helaire is going to be there. Are they going to get Williams, who opted out last year, who was their leading rusher and led them to help lead them to their Super Bowl win?
Yeah, big time.
What's going to happen with Le'Veon Bell?
He's not going to stay there.
Okay. Which then, like, what happens with his career? Now, is he just... He's like in the bouncy house now. You
Yeah.
don't want to be in the bouncy house, especially at running back. You don't want to be.
No, it sucks for him because he bet on himself and he lost that bet by sitting out a year. He got paid, but
But then he ended up in a dope situation. He ended up in the Super Bowl. So I wouldn't say it was the worst. The team he left wasn't in the Super Bowl.
No, but I just look at it as far as his legacy projection.
Wise, right?
It was going like this. You know, he was so unique. That patient running style was so different. And
But
then
you also have to remember his rookie year. A firm lesson. He talked shit about the Baltimore Ravens defense. It was still led by a very motivated Ray Lewis. In his first game against him, got his jaw broken.
Yep.
By who?
Ray Lewis.
Yeah. So we just have to say, maybe not all the decisions he's made have been the best, but what I'm saying is, betting on himself, I don't say that was a bad decision at all. Plus, when you identify someone that you just can't play with anymore, he and AB both did that, and Ben, and then you got to go. I get that.
All right, so speaking of the Steelers, I love a smooth transition. Juju signs back with the Steelers for 1 year, though. So he's looking at next year's cap.
Okay.
It made sense. Why would you go anywhere else for 1 year if you're betting on the cap being raised after, the Rona year and what that? Why would you go anywhere else where you don't know the quarterback, you don't know the offense, you don't know the team? Just stick with what you know. He produces on the field. The Steelers will get over the TikTok dancing. Just get over it. He's a kid. It's that generation.
You have to realize because they thought, Steelers fans, the way it was looking, it was going to be a smooth transition from AB being their number one to now Juju being their number one. Juju was Juju because they had AB there.
Yes.
So Juju was able to do whatever he wanted to do. Then when he became the number one, he was doubled. It was not the same. Now they have Chase Claypool. They were saying his name less. Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, James Washington. And so now Juju was kind of getting lost in the mix, but he was still making plays. He was still out there doing what he does best.
Which is play hard.
Which is play hard, block. He was getting helping them when they could barely run. They were eking out yards just based on his blocking efforts alone. So he's doing a 1 year prove it deal.
Mm-hmm.
So that he can go get paid and probably go back to the West Coast. I'll be honest with you. I would not be surprised if next year, after the next season, he ends up with the Rams or Chargers.
Chargers would be a good one.
Chargers would be a good one. Play with the young stud out there.
Oh fuck! I just had another signing. Speaking of the Rams, Deshaun Jackson signs with the Rams. Matthew Stafford can just chuck it up in the air now because I don't care how old he is. That guy can fly.
Man.
He's like Ted Ginn. Just is going to be fast his whole life. It doesn't matter how old he is.
Yep. And being that you have the other receivers that they have, all he has to do is run straight.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry. He doesn't have to. You don't have to do a post. You don't have to do a flat. Run straight.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp already does all that shit. Robert Woods already does what he does. Bigsby is eating up the middle at tight end. Higbee. Tyler Higbee. Bigsby. Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah, blind ass Clayton Bigsby running.
That's exactly where that came from. Shit. Roger Harper, it was a long day on the golf course, homie. As you can tell, I literally walked off the golf course and got home and started this with it. So.
No, but they got Jared Cook.
That's another big signing is Jared Cook.
Well, because also, they got Jared Cook, obviously losing Hunter Henry. So Jared Cook was a humongous signing.
You know what, though, Kerry? They didn't use Hunter Henry effectively, though.
I know.
They didn't use him to what he could be used for.
And it was a combination. He was hurt, like he had knee issues. But yes, they didn't use him. I would have thought they would have rolled out the Antonio, what you call it? And yeah. Anyway, I thought they would have rolled out his predecessor's game plan for how you fucking use tight ends. But speaking of tight end, Gerald Everett signed elsewhere. Did he sign with Seattle? He left the Rams. I think he went to Seattle. Gerald Everett, because I thought that was a big signing for them.
I don't know. I do know a big signing for the Patriots, though. They re-signed David Andrews.
Oh, yeah, they did. They did. I saw that.
That was a bit. I thought he was going to leave and go somewhere else. But they re-signed him for See, look, we all know because we understand how the salary cap works and where it's headed. All these deals, if you have not noticed, if it's not a 1-year prove-it deal, are all 4 years.
Yep.
Which is 3 years, and then the new collective, salary cap goes through the roof, and you have a chance to re-sign all these people before their contract runs out.
I wasn't really worried about any of the deals the Giants signed because they were just 3 years.
All of them, 3 and 4 years. That they're all prepping for $250 million.
Money deal. And Giants, big market, they're gonna get that money.
Yeah. Can you just listen to just say that.
There's certain teams that the league wants to be better. They want the Giants to be better.
Yo, Roger Harper, what was the salary cap when you were playing? It wasn't no goddamn $250 million. I know that much.
Nah. Well, my rookie year, 93, was the first year of the salary cap. So the previous year, I was the second pick in the second round around that. And the year before that, the average was like 1.2. So unfortunately, when I came into the league with the new bargaining, my signing bonus was like $450,000.
I know, you were like, motherfucker.
I gotta make a Pro Bowl now. I'm hitting everybody.
Shit, I should have left Ohio State early. Fuck.
That was rough.
I'm hitting everybody.
Yeah.
Teammates, everybody.
The water boy, the trainer, everybody's catching it.
In my way. Yeah, everybody can hit.
Yeah, but just say that number for an NFL roster, $250 million. That is baseball money.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it should be. The NFL is the biggest sport in America. It should be up there. It generates way more money than any other league.
It took so long for the numbers to get here when they were there in baseball and basketball for years.
Well, baseball...
I've had baseball and basketball players looking at football players like, what are you doing? Like, why?
Well, baseball is its own unique scenario because they don't have a salary cap. There is no cap. So you can have a team spend $750 million if they want to. Yeah. And then you got the Pirates spending $18.37 in a bag of peanuts. Dude, realistically, I think 1 year the Pirates, and this is recently, I think their entire roster was like $31 million.
Yeah.
There are players making that.
And they were actually like in the mix.
They were competitive.
Right. Which then it makes it hard for like other small market owners to then even want. They're like, well, it could happen.
Well, you know what happens though, Kerry, is if you got like a $30 million roster, right, and you got some players getting busy and they're competitive, those players all leave and go get deals somewhere else. Yeah, you can never keep your talent.
The Kansas City Royals, and they got them a chip, bastards.
It happens though. You can't lowball talent. They're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
The players understand this is a business just like the owners do. That's what people don't realize. The players know what the deal is.
And it more so now because players were conditioned before to have loyalty. And that's why when they would get cut and they would get discarded, and you saw them at the press conference, they were like, this look of disbelief. Like, I gave them everything. Like, I chose not to do this because I stayed. These are not your same players. They're like, nah, we good. And so now that's why you have such a strong pushback from the owners. But what you mean? But you did this for all this long time. What are you talking about? Now we're seeing how things are really starting to play out. Owners don't like it. They're like, nah, there should be a way that this can't happen. You signed a deal. So even though they can take your deal, rescind it, rip it up, set flames to it, any given point in time.
Yeah, but that's when the guaranteed money started creeping into football and changed everything.
Yep. That's why I like deal. Juju Schuster, I mean, he got an $8 million deal 1 year, and $7 million of his signing bonus.
Yeah. Well, that keeps that $7 million off the books, though. Oh, wait a minute! Look, are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
Huge in the mix?
Are you kidding me? I knew it. I knew this was going to happen as soon as I was going to start talking about the fucking Jets.
The future.
Nice. What up, homie?
What's up, baby? What's good?
What's good?
What's goody?
Yeah, we chill. We're just talking about this fucking the most ridiculous offseason in NFL history.
Oh yeah. This thing I had to come on here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm driving, doing like a buck and change right now, but I had to get up on here, man. I had to talk about this thing, man. It's crazy right now.
Yo, so nice.
Figuring out how the Jets was going to screw the pooch this time.
Yeah, nice. I was literally just about to ask you. So the Sam Darnold market is shrinking very quickly. So now, what are the Jets going to do?
I mean, at this point, man,
you better keep them. You better just keep them now.
At this point, keep them and just put as much weapons as you possibly can around them.
Thank you.
You Jared Goff the situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
you still got him on a rookie deal. Why not?
Yeah, why not? You know what I mean? Like, you Jared Goff the situation. You put a lot of weapons around him and see what he can do. You know what I mean?
If the Jets were smart, they would have signed Tyrod Taylor. That was the move.
Yeah. Always good. Always a win-win. But I like what Robert Saleh is doing. He's bringing in a lot of cultural tough guys on the team.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could ever trust a quarterback that on the sideline openly says, I'm seeing ghost out there.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, it's really bad, man. Like, it's really messed up now.
You know, the younger generation, they talk about their feelings more. I call it the Drakes.
Yeah.
You are very correct. Drake has influenced everyone to be in their feelings. Everybody visits Marvin's room every once in a while, apparently.
Yeah.
Man, not bad to have Drakes every now and again.
Oh, it is not his quarterback position, Kerry. I don't give a fuck.
I know.
Yeah, shout out to Kerry and the Giants. I see y'all on the other side. I see y'all making some real nice moves. I like.
Well, nice. I haven't got to talk to you since free agency started. How about them Pats?
Yeah, man, they got damn near the whole league. They went and signed the whole league pretty much. You know, they stocked up right now. Yeah, they're making the playoffs without a doubt this time. This
Well, it's
season
crazy
coming.
because
They're gonna do pretty well.
it's crazy because Miami was ascending, but they just
finally-
started shedding fucking rosters. Like
Yeah.
they're going to take a step back this year.
Yeah, I don't know what Miami's doing. Yeah, I don't know what Miami's doing, but the Patriots, they're gonna make the playoffs. Reason being, also they got a lot of big weapons for Cam, that's his strength. Cam loves big weapons.
We got those two tight ends now. The Patriots have gone back to the.
Yeah. Cam is gonna have a really good season. Not a MVP season, but he's gonna have a real good season. Anytime he has big targets, he always play well.
Well, yeah, nice. You have to remember, Cam always needed.
Benjamin, who couldn't even barely run.
Yeah, he always needed big targets because Cam has a tendency to throw high.
Yeah.
Yes, he throw high, so he needs that.
His launch point, his launch angle is really weird. It's always up for some reason.
Yeah, always up.
And he's tall himself, so yeah.
Yeah, it's always up. So yeah, the Pats,
Yeah, so that shit is fucking retarded what they're doing. You're looking at 20 years of watching the Pats not spend a penny, and then all of a sudden they're just like,
I would just say for the Jets, do not fuck up the second pick. Please don't. Like, if I were the Jets,
I'm trading back.
Check this out. If I don't trade back, right? There's that tackle out of Oregon.
Yes.
Snap him up. And then you pick 22, get the running back out of Alabama.
Najee Harris.
yeah.
Because all right, so I've been reading everybody's mock drafts because I always like to kind of see, especially after every day of free agency, to see where new things are happening. Yeah. And they've all got Najee Harris in the back end of the first round, so he'll be there.
He'll be there.
He'll definitely be there.
Get this offensive lineman out of Oregon and be done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a dope first round.
Well, look,
another mauler on the line with Mekhi Becton.
So you look at you get both of those, and you're looking at you can get 5 years out of their rookie deal. So for the next 4 years, guaranteed, you got both of them for cheap.
Yep, for cheap.
Oh my goodness.
And you got Najee, you know what I mean, and what Corey Davis excels in.
That's right.
Play action.
Yeah.
He excels in the play action. So you're gonna need a running back. Without a doubt.
So, on all of the mock drafts, I know you guys are going to hate every single word that I say right now. Do you know where they got Najee Harris falling to?
Who?
The Bucks.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, look at the looks on your faces. That's just not fair. The NFL's just not fair.
If that happens, it's going to be, man.
They've got him falling all the way to the bottom of the first round.
Fournette hasn't re-signed yet, has he?
No.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. This thing is Well, we all know how the Bucks is gonna be next season. We know how they're gonna be looking. They're gonna be looking pretty lethal next season.
I mean, you guys all know the when the season it starts to get ramped up in the season, we hit August, and we start to get close to September. All these fucking yapping mouths and talking heads are all going to talk about the Bucks going undefeated and putting that fucking weight on their shoulders and all those expectations and shit. But
they're not gonna go undefeated.
It's too hard.
Win that chip again. They definitely gonna win that chip again, though.
The one thing that does help them though is they've got that guy at quarterback who's already been through an undefeated season, regular season, and knows how to manage the expectations and tamper them down and be like, it's not about that. It's about getting to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So.
And they've kept their same coaching staff. I think that's
that's the biggest key. They kept all of them.
All the time.
They kept everybody. They brought everybody back. Everyone is back.
It's incredible. They are literally running it back. Which how often does that happen in professional sports?
The massage therapy, they kept everybody.
Yeah, all of them.
Because they know Tom Brady, man.
You know what I'm talking about?
They know they can do it with Tom.
All the craft services. You still get the Fruit Loops.
Dude, they kept the security guards. They kept everybody.
Hey, you know what I'm talking about?
That shit is.
But I like I like where Kerry team is looking right now. Kerry team, the Giants. Them Giants is looking
Blue
okay.
Wave real quick. Whatever. We'll see what happens.
They looking good. I just don't believe in Danny Dimes though. But everybody else is it's a solid roster, man.
Well,
Adoree Jackson is a very.
You didn't bring this up nice. As we were looking at offensive linemen and like how much time quarterbacks had to throw to be able to hold a block for 2.5 seconds, the Giants were like they only did that 46% of the time. So over 50% of the time they could not hold the block for more than 2 seconds, which is why Danny was on his ass all the time. So you can't have success. No quarterback. I don't care who you are.
Look, you saw it. You saw it with the kid in the Super Bowl. You saw it. Even he couldn't play with that much pressure on his face.
So he's diving like Superman and throwing. You know what I'm saying?
That dude looked like he was really playing like Neo in the Matrix in that game.
And he was hurt because his foot, he needed surgery. I mean, listen, I know it was a loss, but in that loss, he showed me shit.
He showed me more than any other win I've ever seen him have.
Amazing. That was an amazing loss by him.
You know, it was the same thing that happened with Justin Fields when he same thing. I was just like, oh man, you got beat, but I respect you now because
why I told you, Joe, this kid hits different. He's not in the same vein as many of the others that we've seen come out of that program.
Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be interesting, especially with the the way the free agency has played out this offseason. Now the draft it's a crapshoot.
But think of it like this: what if the Jets listen to me and they do go for that offensive lineman because now they have the BYU quarterback at number 2, so now that throws off everything. The Jets are in the most pivotal position.
Yes, they are.
The entire trajectory of the draft.
Nice. Don't smile like you guys aren't going to fuck this up. Stop it. I'm not going to let you do that to yourself again.
It's a new regime. I like what Joe Douglas doing. I like what Robert Sala's doing. They go make the right decision.
I hope so. And no shade on this BYU kid, but I really sincerely hope they do not pick him.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you right now. That's exactly who they're gonna pick.
Yeah, we already know it.
Because you know why? The comparisons, the way how they're bigging this kid up, Zach Wilson, right now.
Yeah, whoever his agent is, they're incredible. This kid is flown up the board.
You know they compare him to
Patrick Mahomes.
They Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. They said he's a combination of both.
Now, what I look at with Zach Wilson is not his past season, but the season before that when he wasn't that fucking effective. So it's just like, what are you really getting out of this kid?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he did have one impressive interview where he was breaking down some plays, but that's about it.
Oh, that's the funniest shit I've ever heard you say.
I could say the same thing about Kyle Bowler. That taken out.
Exactly.
How about
that's why I say.
Jim Drunkenmiller, who was like the strongest quarterback I've ever seen in my life, but it didn't translate to wins.
Wow, nice. Yeah. That was awesome. I love that.
He had an impressive interview.
He had one impressive interview.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Brusher. I have a few questions for you, sir. You sack the shit out of me.
That's fucking hilarious. Nice. So, what other big things have happened before we re-up on our Zoom and
talk about the Bengals?
Break down Joey Bag of Donuts. See, we can't even call him that no more. They got Joey Bag of Donuts.
Right, Joey Boy Band changes the whole thing for me.
And T. Higgins is a monster.
That's my guy. So I will call them not the Bengals, but the Bengals.
They get it for a while. They get it until they start fucking up.
Like the hip 80s girl group, the Bengals.
Oh. Oh my God. What's
solid E in there?
I'm trying to remember didn't they do Walk Like an Egyptian?
Listen, this is very Googleable. kiddies, just check out the Bengals.
They did. Yeah,
like an Egyptian.
Yeah, that's their hit. All right.
So if they walk like an Egyptian in the right direction, then they can become the Cincinnati Bengals again.
No, it'll never happen until they get an indoor practice facility. They're not even a real NFL team.
They got some steps. So no more Bungles. You are now the Bengals.
For now. For now. But no, T. Higgins is a fucking monster, dude.
I told you when I picked that dude up, first of all, he was just sitting there. Nobody was grabbing him. That's going to be incredible. And then you're telling me that A.J. Green is not who he used to be? So you have a rookie quarterback with a rookie wide receiver? That's all day.
Yeah.
And tight ends are all hurt? That's all day.
All day. All right, so yeah, let me close this one down. I'll see you guys in 1 minute. See, it's perfect. A Zoom session lasts exactly the same amount as a blunt. I fucking love it.
I'm watching.
Yeah. All right, so I'll see you guys in about 30 seconds to a minute, and we'll talk about the Bengals. Yeah, man, it's amazing that Zoom sessions are blunt links. Yo, Flea, I can't believe it, man. Nice showed up. All right, so we'll see when these guys pop back in, because it will be soon. And then we can break down in sync. I'm just gonna start calling. So we should call them not the Bengals, but the Backstreet Boys. That's what I'm calling them for the rest of the season. Or the Bengal. Nah, we'll stick with the Backstreet Boys. We'll see if I can put that into my brain to remind myself to call them that for the rest of the season. I'm usually pretty good about shit like that. Yo, so I've deemed them the Cincinnati Backstreet Boys. You got Joey Boy Band out in front, man.
I got Joey Boy Band out in front. You know, that was my nickname for him from jump.
From day one.
Got the look. He's got the moves. You know what I mean?
He's got NFL scouts' favorite word. He's got moxie.
Got moxie. Definitely got moxie. You know, that's my favorite word too. I love it. You hate it, but I love it.
I fucking hate that word, man.
I love it. That kid's got moxie, baby.
But yeah, no, I'm going to call them the Cincinnati Backstreet Boys for the rest. That's what they get for the season.
Like, look at who he's matched up against, and against Herbert, right? Who's the quiet one? Who's like the fucking Doogie Howser of the league, but just quiet, just unassuming. And then you got this kid, Joey Boy Band, like this guy. He's out there. He takes his loss. He was like, I hate this. I don't even know what losing's like. I haven't lost since like
junior high.
Junior high. You know what I'm saying? That's that dude. So I'm like, oh hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So you're gonna have the quiet assassin, and then you have Joey Boy Band selling out arenas. You know what I mean?
I can't remember any of their songs.
Justin Herbert's like more of a coffee shop alternative artist. You know what I'm saying? He's like his hair's like swept when he had hair, like swept over his eyes. Got his guitar, you know, unassuming.
Had a 4.2 GPA and shit.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to like show off his smarts to everybody. He just wants to love. Shoes optional.
Yeah, what was the name of that fucking song? I Want It That Way. Was that their big song?
Oh, I wanted that. Oh man, tell me why.
Tell me why. Yeah, we'll tell you, Joey Boy Band. It's no longer Bag of Donuts. I'm going with the boy band route. It's too funny.
Boy band. All day.
The Cincinnati Backstreet Boys.
Let's see. I mean, they also have the opportunity. If the Jets screw this up, which they probably won't, and they don't go for Penny out of Oregon,
Cincinnati better take them.
They better take him. But the mock drafts are talking about them getting the tight end out of Florida.
Ooh.
Now,
I go with that tackle, man. You don't
go with that tackle.
You don't pass on can't miss linemen. You just don't do it.
No.
Because you see what happens. They'll last for fucking 12, 13, 14 years in the league. Look what Trent Brown's doing.
And I'm sorry, you could be the best receiver tight end combination there is. But if your quarterback is on his ass, he's not going to get the rock. And you know what's going to happen? That receiver tight end is going to get frustrated, not want to stick around, say, I don't know what the hell this team is doing. Get me the hell out of here. I want to go to a contender.
Exactly.
Done.
Nice. I know you're not in this room yet, but you motherfuckers better not fuck this up for the rest of the league.
Mm-hmm. I'm serious, yo. Because then I'll tell you this: if they do fuck it up, as they will do it, they let Penny pass, and Cincinnati does the right thing and pick him up. Now we get to enjoy Joey Boy Band and like what he can really become. Get him some protection. Running game is going good right now. You got T. Higgins. Add some more to that mix. Got to get him another tight end.
All right, so I'm looking at Cincinnati's transactions for this calendar year. Justin Hill is their running back coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Justin and Troy Walters is their wide receiver coach.
Okay.
They got a young coaching staff.
Yeah.
And then
Zach is a young head coach. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, instead of
young Bulldogs.
Let us kick in the tread on old coaches that have been in the league for 30 fucking years.
Wait, did Gerald Everett go there? The tight end? Did Gerald Everett go Cincinnati?
I don't know. We'll get to that. I'm going up.
Okay.
So they also Brad Cragthorpe is their other wide receiver coach. So they just got former players who were in the league for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
And quickly transitioned to Justin Hill. This is just 3 years ago he was still playing, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's with the Ravens.
Yeah, and it's running back coach. It's not assistant or anything. He's got a
Yeah.
Well, that just
a great running back room for years. So yeah.
Yeah, so that also shows you his mental ability within the game itself, because you don't get a positional coaching job 3 years after you were just playing if you don't really know football.
Right.
So good for all of them getting jobs. That's fucking awesome. And like you said, I like it. I like the young signings, getting some new talent, new ideas, new philosophies and all that into the game and into your locker room instead of just going and getting fucking, oh my God. Name any coach that's just been on the coaching carousel for the last 30 seasons.
Of course.
And
look, Joe Mixon had a great year before he got hurt. Joe Mixon was having the best year of his career.
Yes.
Yeah, so
that kid can play. He can play. So let's go with some of their signings. Let's see. Brandon Allen is back. So,
I like him as a backup.
Yeah,
I do.
That's great.
Strong arm, big kid out of Arkansas. Played with Hunter Henry. That was his tight end. Alex Collins was his running back. Spent some years in the league, bouncing in and out. Played with Seattle mostly. Played behind.
I like the Wuzu, the DB, the corner, the Wuzu.
Yeah, Chidobe Awuzu they signed, and they also signed Mike Hilton from the Steelers. They signed who was one of the best slot corners in football.
He was, absolutely.
So I know that the not the fan base, but the locker room in Pittsburgh was not happy about Pittsburgh letting that guy walk. They were not happy about that.
Nah, he was he made a difference on that defense.
Big time.
And you're talking about he went in division. Like Pittsburgh, I'm sorry, y'all. I just want to say I don't know what the fuck y'all were thinking. I don't know what y'all were doing, like at all.
At all, that makes no sense.
I don't know what y'all were thinking.
Yeah, that would makes no sense. I don't have any Super Bowl rings, so I don't know. I can't say shit. I guess whatever. Trey Hendrickson, we talked about that one. Will he fulfill his potential now that he's in a different scenario, new settings and whatnot? Larry, I'm going to butcher his name. Ogunjobi.
Ogunjobi?
Yeah, I almost got that right.
Yeah.
They signed him, but well, let me go through the other. They traded Ryan Finley to Houston.
Yep.
So
what they get in return?
Draft picks.
Eli Apple.
Oh, Eli Apple, yeah. So they signed Eli Apple, which is he good? You see, look on Carey's face lets you know Eli Apple is somebody who did not fulfill his potential.
And see, Roger, I hate this because he's one of your peoples. He's one of your peoples. But
remember, he was with the Giants last, right?
Yep.
Drafted him.
No, well, we drafted him way too damn high.
Way too high.
Then he went to New Orleans. It didn't work out there. He was an immature kid, a child.
Yes.
Playing a man's game, and
he was like 20 years old when they drafted him. 21.
Yeah,
it was something crazy.
Up here, he just was like, when you're on any NFL squad. And you are clearly dogging it during plays on the field when you're playing against competition. I can't trust you, and that was the problem on the G's. We're busting our ass, and you just olayed this guy. Like, what the fuck?
Well, he was awful thin on the frame.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've seen some other cats in this league awfully thin in the frame and throw their shit in there every single time.
Well, that's the fight in the dog, and Eli Apple never had that. So the weird thing with Eli Apple, so this is a judgment mistake by the Giants front end, by their front office. This is New York. You're drafting this kid to. He's a kid. You're drafting him to New York. This is a different fucking place. It's different. They have to be able to mentally handle this place. Look, Odell couldn't handle it here. He couldn't handle being in New York. It was too. He just wanted to be too big for.
Well, then because then if you do something and then we raise you to the skies, then we expect you to be there, and then he just was like, so he felt like he had to keep upping himself, topping.
And he wasn't topping himself on the field.
Like when Shaq went to Inside the NBA. When he first got there, he thought, let me do some funny shit and I got to keep topping it. And they were like, we're already established, homie. Chill out. Once he chilled out and he was himself, then he was an addition to something that was already great.
Yeah.
And then now when there's bloopers, we say Shaq and a fool, right? Of course we do.
I mean, that show wins Emmys for a reason. Those guys are hilarious.
Period. I watch that show. I don't even need to see the games. I just watch that show and I get everything I need.
I don't watch NBA basketball, but I watch them because they're fucking hilarious.
Exactly. All Odell had to do was just be Odell, like play the game. He didn't need to do any extras. Let me say, Hopkins is one of the best receivers in the league. If you talk to some people, the best. You see him, he doesn't even barely talk. But he does at his pressers, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm the best. He doesn't scream it. He's just like, nah, I'm dope. Yeah, black gloves, yeah, whatever.
You saw that catch. You see what he said, though. Yeah, I'm going to get a chain made with that catch, me jumping over those three guys.
Yeah, but he does it just like this all the time. He just, that's what I do. Like, he doesn't need all that other. The worst thing that happened to Odell
was that catch.
Was that catch.
Because he, from that moment, thought he had to do that.
He thought he did, and then we were like, oh, greatest catch of all time, all the hyperbole, everything, and everything he did was put in the spotlight, and so because he was so much in the spotlight, everyone who didn't know how to cover him, they were looking. Everyone's always in the league Roger, you could speak to this way more than I can. Everybody's looking for a weakness.
Mhm.
And what the weakness I identified him early on was his emotions.
Yep.
Said he is not emotionally stable because when players talk shit and what
Norman
what do we DBs do most?
talk
We
shit.
talk that shit.
Oh yeah, look at this. I forgot there's 3 DBs in the room right now. Yeah.
Who talked and then Josh Norman was at the height of his shit talking powers in Carolina, and so then that became Carolina and the Giants weren't even like a real rivalry, but then it became like a thing just because of that bullshit, which was all bullshit. But he got in his head, and then when other DBs saw that Josh Norman can get in his head like that, what do you think they did?
Just start talking shit.
They all did the same thing. Whereas before, they wouldn't even say much. They were just like, let me back up 10 yards. Maybe let me back up 15 yards. Then they were like, oh, your mama fine. You know why? I fucked her. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so they were all up in his head, and he just was a different player. He's competitive as hell. They say he's the best teammate they've ever had. Hardest working. I get all that. But when you show people your weakness,
They try to take advantage.
All right, so I'll give you an analogy. Odell Beckham is the Roy Jones Jr. of the NFL. 10 to 15 yards, oh my God, I'm terrified of him until Josh Norman punched him in his fucking face, and now everybody gets right up in Odell's face. Like, yeah, you're a bitch. I fucked your mama. I fucked your little sister. I fucked your girl. I kicked your puppy. All that shit. All that.
it became different. And I was like, man, if he does not figure out how to get that out, this is going to be his Achilles heel.
And it will be, because you know what else happened is once they got into his face and started getting real physical with him, then the emotions even for him started to go up even more, because now he's getting physically frustrated.
Especially when Cleveland didn't have like that true identity yet. They didn't know. They thought, you have such a piece like that. That's a humongous piece. Like, let's be honest. This kid is like,
His talent is off the charts.
Like, exactly. Right. This not speaking to that. But he just couldn't put it all together in a way where you don't think people talk shit to Jerry Rice once they identified that. Jerry Rice was unflappable. He's like,
whatever.
I could do a 3-yard slant and take it to the crib all day. Like, you will not outrun me. Like, I will outwork. He didn't even have to speak to them because he just outworked them. Odell has the ability to outwork anyone who's ever lined up against him. He doesn't have to speak a word, but he feels like he must. Again, like I said earlier, being in his Drakes, different generation, you all up in your Drakes now, so now you feel like you gotta.
And on top of that, he's actually friends with Drake, so that can't help.
And he is. Look at Andre Johnson. A monster. I didn't even hear Andre Johnson speak a word until a couple months ago. Has the voice of Barry White and Isaac Hayes combined. I was like, oh shit. I never heard him speak before. I never heard him speak a word.
Yo, even after that Cortland Finnegan fight, he didn't even say a
He
word.
just whooped his ass and didn't say nothing about it.
Really whooped his ass.
Yes.
Yo, can you guys ever remember a fight on a field that was that one-sided? He fucked him up, dude. He was...
Don't push a dude like that to that limit. But that's what I'm saying. He spoke volumes with his play. So you could not get in his head. You couldn't do it. And Cortland Finnegan was that pesky-ass dude who pushed him over the line. Then he got his ass whooped, and then that was that.
Well, Cortland Finnegan had to do that because of his physical limitations.
Exactly. And I rock with Cortland Finnegan.
Yeah, nah. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it, dude.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So, like, for Odell, I just really just want him to just play the game. That's it. If you play your game and then that's it and that's all, you chat with these cats after the game. These cats will actually, like, talk to you like human beings after the game. During the game, nah. Don't do your business. You will crush them. You will crush their souls, and they won't speak to you after that. They won't. They won't speak to you during the game if you crush their souls every single time in the game.
He just can never get out of his own way,
That is
though.
a guarantee.
Yeah.
All right, so I think the biggest offseason move for these Bengals, and this is signaling a switch to the future, They let Geno Atkins go.
You know what? It was time.
It was.
They already started with Carlos Dunlap. It was time. And I really hope Geno Atkins. Actually, you know what's funny? I was saying that he should end up with the Browns. I was speaking to one of the biggest Browns fans I know, and I was saying that if you get Geno Atkins, even though they did sign Malik Jackson, Geno Atkins instantly becomes the biggest free agent signing on that line instantaneously. He knows how to run a line, especially like he knew how to run a line for years. You have someone like Myles Garrett on the end.
That's what I'm saying. He was Cincinnati's defense for a very long time.
And then Malik Jackson is now motivated. Malik Jackson had his best years when he played with Von Miller. Malik Jackson was a classic example of when a team wins the Super Bowl, they get their defense rated, they get their squad rated. He got a big contract elsewhere. We haven't heard Malik Jackson's name much since. So
Nope.
you add Geno Atkins to that defensive line, and we are now talking about the Cleveland Browns in a way the Cleveland Browns haven't been talked about since the 80s or the 50s.
Since fucking Bernie Kosar.
That's the 80s or then the 50s when they had someone named Jim Brown.
Yes,
No big
some guy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him.
Otto Graham, I don't know. No big deal. No big deal.
You might want to look him up.
Yeah, no big deal. So
All right, so
yeah,
let's
I would say they need to scoop him. He wants to go to a winner, and I think especially staying in that area, man, go to the Browns, get busy.
All right, so let's break down this Bengals depth chart, and we'll see what they really need moving forward. Of course, they got Joey Backstreet Boys at quarterback. Joe Mixon, who I do like a lot. Giovanni Bernard, it's a good third down back, but they also have Samaje Perine, which we like him. We like the whole Perine clan.
We like the Perine clan. They're like this tall.
Their thighs are this fucking big.
Mighty Mouses. Yeah. They just need the opportunities. They're volume guys. The Perines, they all got volume in college. All of them.
Well, I mean, if you see a running back physically and their legs are that fucking big, you know they're a volume guy. You got to let them get 20-some carries a game and wear out the defense. Even if they're not big, look at that Maurice Jones-Drew. He's fucking 5'8" and was wearing people out.
And as a blocker, he was knocking out linebackers. And he lights out.
No one will ever forget that.
Yeah.
I never saw Lights Out ever do that again after that block. Because he rocked him.
He retired shortly afterwards.
He did. I mean, that's leverage for you people. 5'8", getting underneath of that, it's going to work every time when your thighs are this fucking big.
You get under that chin strap, it's nighty-night for the taller cats.
Oh, my God, he rocked him. I remember the sound of that hit. Because it was just like, oh, that's top of the helmet to chin. He's done. He might be dead.
A few games after that, too.
Yeah. And listen, Sean Merriman was a beast for a few years.
Let's not even,
You don't get a nickname if you're not a monster.
Yeah, and your nickname is Lights Out.
Lights Out.
Which, quick transition. Draymond Green is calling himself the greatest NBA defender of all time. First of all, you don't give yourself that. I'm sorry. And I love Draymond Green. And he went to Michigan State, and I love that and all that. And he is a dog. He can defend 1 through 5. But you don't... you don't do... Plus, like, we're just going to forget, like, all these other cats that played. Tony Allen, Alvin Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Dennis fucking Rodman.
Ben Wallace. Like, we're just not going to... We're just not going to... Like,
Kawhi Leonard.
We're just not going to shit all over them like that.
I mean, I could name a bunch of defensive players that I would put in front of him.
Alvin Robertson is still the only cat. He played for the Milwaukee Bucks, again, Googleable, who had a triple-double with 10 steals. Like, let's just not... We're just not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? We're just not going to do that.
I mean, Ben Wallace won, what, like 3 Defensive Player of the Years in a row?
Come on now.
With that, and he averaged like 6 points a game, if that. Like,
And 17, 18 rebounds for a massive amount of years.
And on top of that, he wasn't tall.
No, he was not.
He was just strong as shit.
Yeah.
Afro.
Yeah, no, he kept that so that he could be listed at like 6'8". Like
That's exactly what he did.
I know that trick. I've been short my whole life. I know that trick. I used to have a mohawk.
I'm not gonna do that. Love you, Draymond. But I'm just saying though, you let somebody else give you them flowers.
Yeah, Hakeem Olajuwon, homie.
One.
Dennis fucking Rodman.
Yeah. Michael Jordan. Shit.
Bill fucking Russell.
Michael Jordan. And look,
Bill Russell, dude.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You think all them shots blocked themselves? All them rebounds grabbed themselves? Hell no. And then we have to stop it at the 80s because when we went to the 70s, people were knocking people out. Wes Unseld, they were knocking people straight the fuck out. You know what I mean? You were getting to ask Rudy Tom John.
I want to say Rudy T.
Broken.
Rudy T almost died on the court. He got hit so hard.
So let's not. So we just let everybody. You get nicknamed. You do not nickname yourself.
I will say this. That was an awesome nickname, and he had one of the best sack celebrations ever. Light switch.
Yes.
Fucking aw, that shit was dope as fuck, man.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely.
All right, so we know we got Joey Burrow cemented at quarterback. They got a pretty good running back room. Tyler Boyd at wide receiver. I'm still not really sold on him. But T. Higgins, I am.
Yes. That's
Now, they got Mike Thomas, but which Mike Thomas is this?
Is that the one from Jacksonville?
Come on, internet. Let's see. He went to Southern Miss.
Okay.
I don't know this guy.
Did he play for any other teams?
Yeah, well, let's see bio. Let's
That's
check out his bio. Rams for 4 seasons.
Rams for 4 seasons.
That's the Mike. See, that's what I'm saying. There's like 3 Mike Thomases, and they're all wide receivers.
Yeah, it's a very generic name. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't move my needle.
No. Well, if you look at, I'm looking at their roster right now. So if you go past Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, they got nobody in their wide receiver room. They got their third wide receiver starter is some guy named Auden Tate.
Auden Tate has been there for a few seasons, and he has had like a game here there. But again, you had AJ Green there, so they were always hoping. And then AJ Green played in games where he played the whole game and didn't get a catch.
Yeah.
Or got maybe one catch for 8 yards. So that's what I'm saying. He took up a big space. That's why I was saying they need to figure out what they're going to do with AJ Green. Moving him on opens up a huge space now for
somebody else.
Someone else to step it up. You know, they've been looking at Tyler Boyd to step it up for a few years now, and he has in spots. I think Tyler Boyd is just best served as a slot. They need to get another receiver on the outside, who's just a little bigger and with some speed, or just not even just someone. Someone like a Kenny Gallaudet type, someone who could be covered but is not really covered. You know what I'm saying? Just someone on the other side. Because T. Higgins has speed, has size. Listen, this guy's going to be a stud.
He's a beast.
This guy's going to be a stud for years. That's why it was so easy for them to move on from AJ Green.
So, I think
inside and then get somebody else on the outside.
I think they need a burner. They need somebody to take the top off the defense.
But who also they really need? What does their tight end situation look like?
That was my next thing. All right, so their tight end room, terrible. I've never heard of all 4 of these.
All you have is Sample and then Uzama. Uzama.
Yeah, CJ Uzama.
Yeah, Uzama.
They've got to upgrade.
Come on now. Y'all got to do better at tight end.
Well, I mean, they also need offensive line. They did sign Riley Reef, so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at their draft position. They got to get that lineman. They have to get linemen in front, and they know it.
They got it. Listen, they got to hope this Oregon lineman falls to them.
I'll be right back. I got to get some lunch.
They better do it. They better do it. I know the kid out of Florida, the tight end out of Florida is He's that Maybach you've been looking at.
Mm-hmm.
He is. You don't need a Maybach right now. You need you a Dodge up front. You know what I'm saying? You don't need that right now because you could always. Yes, this kid may be like a once in a 10-year talent, but on the line, you're talking about getting a lineman who could be a stalwart for you for the next 10, 15 seasons. You hold him down. You're going to be able to get position guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free agency position guys happen.
This is going to happen. And this league right now, in terms of tight ends, skilled tight ends, is the most rich it has ever been.
That's what I'm saying. You can't have this tight end room when there's so many tight ends getting this busy.
In the history of the league, it's the talent of the tight end position is at its highest point. So you can get a free agent tight end. You can figure that out. And how they didn't get one is
how they let New England get all of them.
crazy to me. Like they were just out there. I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, I go line all the way. If you identified Joey Boyband as your franchise, and he is the reason that is giving Cincinnati life, you protect him at all costs.
All right, so I'm also looking at their second string offensive lineman, and Hakeem Adeniji. Yeah, Adeniji. Hakeem Adeniji is listed as second string left tackle, second string right guard, second string right tackle.
So he's everything. He's their backup plan.
Yeah, so they need some depth on the line. That's for fucking
Literal
sure.
backup plan.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Boy, this team is thin, man. It is thin.
Yeah. And we saw what happened to Joey Boyband. He got folded.
Yeah.
You cannot.
All right, so let's switch to the other side.
Don't ruin that kid.
Yes.
He's actually a really good young quarterback. Please don't ruin him.
We switch to the other side of the ball, and this is where they're making all their moves at, whatever moves they have made. With Awuzie, Eli Apple, and Ogunjobi, and Trey Hendrickson. See, this is where they spent all their money at.
I would say this, though. They lost William Jackson, go Cougs, who that was their best corner, right? So you lose your best corner, and then you sign Eli Apple. Awuzie, I give him. I like Awuzie, but
Well, they also signed Mike Hilton too, so that was the big one.
Okay, so that kind of stems the tide a bit.
Yeah.
Losing Jackson, but who are the safeties right now?
Von Bell
Okay.
and Jesse Bates the third. I don't know. Whatever. He's not moving the needle for me. So,
Linebacker room looking like.
extremely thin. Jesus Christ, they don't even have a backup listed in some of their positions. So you're looking at Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt, Akeem Davis, Gaither, and then Marcus Bailey and Keandre Jones, and that's it in their linebacker room. They don't even have. They have 5 linebackers total on their roster. That's all I said, dude. I'm looking at this roster. It is extremely thin, which means they're going to have to draft a ton of people. It's all about draft for them.
Yeah. Wow.
Which means they're just building young around them. So, an odd note on the Bengals roster. I have never heard of this dude before, but I want his jersey now.
Who's this?
His name is... I have never seen a more American word and a non-American last name jammed together in my whole life. Freedom Akin Muladon. Who the fuck is this guy? I love it. His name is Freedom, and his last name is Akinmoladun. Akin Muladun. Freedom Akin Muladun. I love it. I fucking love it. I love it. I now have to see where he came from. I love this guy.
Yeah, who is that? And what position he plays?
D tackle.
Of course. Okay.
He went to Nebraska.
Okay.
Oh my God, he looks exactly like Tikio Spikes.
Oh.
It's like he looks like a young Tikio Spikes. His neck isn't quite that wide.
I don't know. I haven't met too many people who have necks like Takeo Spikes.
I haven't seen too many horses that have necks like Tikio Spikes, dude. His neck just went from his ears to his shoulders.
That's exactly what it did.
Yo, and it's crazy because he's been retired, right? And he did an interview recently, and he still got that goddamn neck, dude.
Of course he does. Why not? You never know when you got to hit somebody in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Life is life.
Ain't nobody karate chopping him, son.
You got to fight Rona, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So, does Freedom have a soccer background? I just want to know what his footwork is like.
I mean, he's 6'3", 286, so he's not even that big. And he had
If he's quick, because think about this.
He's not. All right, so let's look at his season stats.
Okay.
1 tackle.
Oh, okay.
That's it. It's all zeros on that. It's 1 tackle.
How many snaps he get?
Oh, like he had an assist. So
he likes to help.
Well, he actually only got in 2 games, so
All right.
practice squad player, you know. I saw that name and was just like, who in the hell is this guy?
So we may be seeing let's see what Cincinnati's practice squad looks like. I mean, there's going to be guys who now are going to get their shot that have been with the team now, been practicing with them. Let's see what they can do. You know, we've seen this before where a receiver will come up. Look at Thielen. Adam Thielen came from a rando tryout, and then he was a practice squad, and then they were like, this guy is so damn good. He needs to be in the game. That happens on every level.
I was just about to say the same thing, dude. It happens at every fucking level. You got people who are entrenched as starters, legacy players, and things like that. Big contracts, big scholarships. You got to get them in there. They're full ride and shit like that. And then you got these players who can really fucking play. Or you got players who they just take a while to develop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of them don't have a huge football background.
Right.
There's a lot of players that only played like a year in high school.
Exactly.
All right, my roommate in college, 1 year in high school.
Yeah.
Ended up being a first-team All-American and outside linebacker.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't make it.
Learn the game. Yeah.
He had to learn the game, and he even, he said it his whole time. He's just like, man, I wish I would have played, like I actually played in high school, so I knew what the fuck I was doing.
Exactly.
You know, all he knew was that guy has the ball, go hit him. That's it.
I didn't start playing till sophomore year in high school. Ooh. Yeah, I couldn't. You know, I mean, I was literally not allowed. but then I was, and then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just running around, and I get to hit people. I'll do it. And then I was like, oh, okay. And what I would do is I would watch old NFL films of past players, which is how I got linked on to Gale Sayers. But I saw a lot of other great players. You know what I'm saying? Ray Nitschke. I loved it. And he made me want to play defensive end. I was like, and I get to hit the quarterback? Hell yeah, I'd love to do that.
See, that right there goes to show you the difference in New York high school football and the South, because football, they give it to you when you come out the womb. It wasn't, no, I didn't get to play. It's just like, here, you're playing football. This is all we do here.
I was playing, so here's the difference. When I would go to summer camp, it was literally at a basketball gym. It was Riverside where the Gauchos played. So it was like, so I was like, basketball was in my face all the time.
Yeah, that's New York for you.
And they were like, you don't play basketball? And I was like, I mean, I don't know. Not really. But, I didn't start playing basketball until later. But football is the thing that really got me going. And then I would just watch all these older players, and I was like, man, this is fucking great. But that was my education because, I didn't really have anyone who really taught me, showed me the game. So I was just out there kind of figuring it out for myself. But yeah, so yes, it takes some time for these guys to develop. And Cincinnati could be a spot where, guys can get their shot because guys just need snaps.
Yeah,
You
a lot of
need
times.
snaps. You just need snaps, and you get that confidence, and then you figure it out, and then you're like, who is that guy? I never even heard of him before. And then they're just popping. They're popping on tape. They're making every play. Even if they mess up, they're messing up at 100 miles per hour. So you're just saying that's easily coachable. I know what to do with that guy. And there's coaches who see that, and they're like, I want to go coach. I want to be a part of that team because I know what to do with these guys. So it's just identifying that. And hopefully with this young coaching staff with Cincinnati, they can identify these guys and they know exactly what to do with them. I like the Justice Hill being with the running backs. I do like Giovanni Bernard, but they need to get somebody else in there also because, you know what I'm saying, he's getting a little longer in the tooth now as a third down scat back receiving.
Not a whole lot of scat left in him.
Yeah, they need, and then when when he went down, and then he had to be. Initially, they put him as the lead back. Then they were like, "Oh, we got this P. Ryan kid," and then as P. Ryan got more snaps, he started getting progressively better. That's what I'm saying. He just needed more snaps. So, but first and foremost, please build both sides of the line, offensive and defensive line, Cincinnati. Please just do that.
I mean, it's NFL football starts in the trenches. I don't care.
You'll figure out linebacker, and then you have enough in the secondary to be competitive. But figure out that line, because you actually have some playmakers on offense. But if you don't give Joey Boyband enough time, it's not going to make a difference.
So, Roger, this is. Ohio football is even more. The high school football in Ohio is even bigger than West Virginia. But I grew up at the top of West Virginia, so you play teams in Ohio and you play teams in Western PA. And let me tell you something. Western Pennsylvania high school football is a whole different fucking level of football. You're talking about a lineage of Hall of Famers that have come out of that area. And they take that shit. They got fucking helicopters for the news teams to get to all the games there. It's like a big fucking deal. So... I'm living in Brooklyn, right? It's a few years ago. And I didn't know that in New York, there's so many schools and so little fields that they'll have games on like Mondays and Tuesdays. And they'll be at 3 in the afternoon.
Damn.
They'll have a fucking high school game. And I've gone by games and there not been a single human being in the crowd.
Damn.
Empty. I've been to fucking high school football games in Ohio where there's 30,000 fucking people there.
Let me tell you something. I played on Sundays in high school.
What the fuck?
They were like, "Oh, you get to play on Sunday?" I was like, "I've already done that." So I was like, "They play Friday night? Where they play Friday nights at? Where's that?" I played on Sundays.
Damn.
Yeah, in high school.
All right, so I'm going to shut this one down because we got less than a minute. I'm going to open another one up and we can continue this non-NFL talk because this shit is entertaining as fuck. I'll see you guys in like 30 seconds. All right. Let's fucking add them in again because now we're going to talk about high school football and that shit is entertaining as fuck. So let's invite the homies. Woo! It's been a long day, Flea. You can see it in my eyes. The golf course beat me up today. But I am what I like to call a golf masochist. And I play the hardest possible courses in the hardest possible conditions there are because why the fuck not? You gotta measure yourself up against the best. Yo, it's crazy how much goddamn weed I smoke during these shows. When I have to step out and then walk back in the room, when I walk back in the room, I'm always just like, Jesus, what the fuck has been going on in here? So you guys actually fucking played high school games on Sundays? That is incredible.
So when people were like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to play on Sundays," I was like, that was my entire high school career. I was like, I don't know what you mean,
dude. I didn't even know that one. I've seen the Tuesday, like, you know, Tuesday 1 o'clock game. I'm walking by a field like, are they playing football?
So our home field was St. John's University.
Oh, that's
known for its basketball.
That's still dope though.
St. John's at the time had a Division III football team, so it was a turf field. I still have the scars to prove it.
Okay, so that's another thing that I noticed about city fields. They're all turf.
Oh yeah, I still have multiple. Our practice field was grass, but when we game day, turf. So I have plenty of turf burns, plenty of that shit to prove it.
Yo, so our high school field, you know, the players, the sideline box, 30 to 30, pavement.
Oh yeah.
Pavement. I still have scars from going off, and then, you know, we had fucking screw-in spikes, metal spikes. You hit that shit, you could see sparks flying off of your shoes. It's like, seriously, you see sparks because then you're trying to, like, not bite it when you're sliding through that shit. Hilarious, right?
Oh yeah.
I remember when they were pouring that concrete, I was just like, what are they doing that for? Why would you put concrete on the sideline? That's going to fucking hurt. You know, and it did.
Yeah, they didn't care about that.
No, not at all. So, funny thing about high school football, even West Virginia, I graduated with 63 people. There were 300 people in my school, less than 2,000 people in the town. I have played in games in front of 10,000 people, though.
That's crazy.
Because they come from everywhere.
See, and my shit was the opposite.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Like 8 million people, but it was like, who up there?
Yo, I remember playing we played Valley High School at home, and there were so many goddamn people at our stadium that it was literally 7 rows standing. Like, it looked like a fucking rock concert, and I was just like, there aren't even this many people in our town.
So I'll tell you when I really realized what high school football was all about.
Texas.
It was when I first then went to Houston, and then one of my boys was like, "Hey, I'm about to take you to a game." I'm like, "All right." It's Friday night, my first Friday night out there, and we driving. We get to the parking lot. Buses, parking lot is full. I'm like, all right, wow, who we watching? We get there, we go in, stadium packed.
Fucking 75,000 people in Texas games.
I'm looking at the players, and they got bands. I was like, who are these college squads? It was like, oh, this high school. I was like, shut the fuck up. Nah, this ain't high school. Yeah. He was like, oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
Stop playing. I'm looking at players, and I was like, freshman year now, college, and I was like, wait, this high school? This is what we would have got mauled in New York if this is what we had to go up against every single time. The biggest team we went up against was it was Nazareth in Brooklyn, but they were cheap. They definitely had 20-year-olds on that squad.
Oh, of course.
We had men with full-grown beards, like men who rival your beards, Roger. There was a receiver I went against. He was at least 6'5", and he had a full-grown ass beard.
All right, so I'll throw a side note on that. We had a guy on our team who was shaving in grade school.
Come on now.
It happens. There's freaks of nature. Yo, so by the time we were in high school, he had the full gorilla suit, full back hair and everything.
Come on now.
So what our coaches, Roger Harbor, this is hilarious. What our coaches used to make him do is walking from the locker room to the field for warm-ups, he always had his shoulder pad and jersey off and was just walking because he was jacked as shit. He was in Muscle Fitness magazine at 18. So he was fucking huge, right? And this is single A West Virginia football. You got linemen that are 180 pounds. And they're like literally crying when they see him. Like, I have to go against that?
Yeah.
So one more funny note about fan attendance in West Virginia. So going back to Valley. All right, Valley was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They wishbone, they ran it 50 times a game. They never threw it. They put their biggest player at running back and just let him bulldoze. Their mascot was called the Lumberjacks. All right, so that lets you know they're in the woods as a high school. All right, Roger Harper, I swear to God, when the sun would start going down and the mist would start coming through the trees, because you were in the woods. The field was in the goddamn woods, surrounded by it. Yo, Carrie, you're not going to believe this. It looked like the fucking horror movie. People just started coming out of the mist, out of the woods randomly. It's not like they drove to the game. They were walking from wherever their fucking house is through the woods to the game. Dude, it was fucking creepy as hell.
Damn village.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, it was, but nobody beat them. Dude, they fucking, you did not beat them. You did not beat them.
You don't know. They got special elixirs in the woods. You don't know what they mixing up out there.
Dude, I'm telling you, and all of them wearing lumberjacks. They all look like fucking lumberjacks. They got the Roger Harper beard going.
Competitions on how fast you can cut a tree down, and then what you could do with that wood afterwards. You different. You a different breed.
Dude, it's the only game I've ever experienced where the fans came out of the woods. It was fucking. It's amazing. It's so weird. It's really intimidating. Like my freshman year there, I was just like, what the fuck?
I barely like cutting vegetables because I think I'm going to cut a finger off. They use chainsaws out the womb. You're not going to beat them. They different.
All right, so a good note on New York football. So I'm in college, and we get a bunch of, I think it was my sophomore year, we got like 4 players from Brooklyn. And one of them was a quarterback. He was terrible.
Brooklyn had players.
Yeah, but this quarterback sucked. The running back sucked. But the odd note is he was supposed to go to WVU, but he was academically ineligible, so he ended up at Fairmont because we're 14 minutes away.
Got it.
Right? He was New York State Defensive Player of the Year in high school.
Oh, okay.
He sucked when he got down to West Virginia. He sucked.
That happens all the time. You get those All-American high school, they get to the next level. It's a done deal.
So there was a kid. What was his name? He went to Kellenberg. It was Long Island. He went to WVU. 6'7". What was his fuck? I cannot remember his name. Went to WVU. He had like a college career, but he ended up being like one of those Mike Mamula dudes, like combine warrior. Ended up making it to the league with the Eagles, I believe, but fizzled out. Oh man, I cannot remember his name, but he went to Kellenberg. 6'7" black dude, 6'6", 6'7", whatever like that. Defensive end. I played against him. He just was bigger than people. So, but like, was he like mauling people? Like, nah. I mean, in New York, like in the boroughs, like in New York City, you may have like a couple cats from Queens, couple cats from Brooklyn, couple cats from the Bronx. Like Staten Island, and oddly, like that's where Will the Thrill Hill came from. They got like Curtis is like the teams. You know the teams that are the standouts. Curtis and Staten Island stand out. You got some squads in Brooklyn stand out. And then you got to think public school versus Catholic school leagues. So that's what I'm saying. We're so split up in so many different ways. You're like, where? In Long Island, though, it's a little different where they really can focus in on the program. They got more money for it. They spend more money for it. But where you really get it is not in the city upstate, which is a whole nother thing.
Well,
Upstate,
or if you go south and hit Jersey, because Jersey high school football is pretty fucking serious.
You know how you guys already know Ohio's already up there.
Yeah, no, I was just about to transition to start asking you some questions. What area of Ohio did you play high school football in?
Columbus, Ohio, Central Capital. So we got 18. We got 18 high schools. Columbus Public in the city of Columbus. So if they divided us up, we would have more powerhouse teams. But it's so spread out, and plus, our high school football is so weak right now. It's ridiculous. But Ohio football is definitely.
It's for real, man. I grew up right on the river. You cross that river, that is it 5A or 6A is the big one?
It's 5A up now.
All right, so it's 5A. Those 5A teams, dude. Oh, Canton McKinley, Cleveland St. Ignatius, Bel Air. There's just a list of them. You're just Massillon. See, I know all of them because they're constantly winning state titles.
Yep. What did they say?
Steubenville. Yeah, Big Red, man. Steubenville, Big Red, and Steubenville's one of those programs, along with Bel Air, Ohio. They pumped out a lot of NFL talent, man.
Yeah. Yep. Bel Air. Joey Gallaudet.
Yep.
Bel Air.
Yeah, now Bel Air is literally across the river, and then north maybe 10 minutes, and you're in Bel Air. So, it's just like, all right, we're done. Our season's over. Let's watch these guys go to their state title games because they're going to. No, but Bel Air, they take football so serious there.
Yep.
But that's that Ohio high school football, man. It's different in there.
Yep. Canton McKinley. Even Dayton, the city of Dayton has some good players come up out of there. Trying to think of some hot Dayton teams. Huber Heights.
So out of Ohio, what I used to see all the time, y'all would always have some of the best linemen, offensive or defensive linemen,
linebackers galore,
bosses, and then like some speedy skill position,
skill players, yeah,
all the time. I was like, that's what y'all doing out in Ohio? Oh, okay.
That's they're blocking out there and hitting each other. That's what they do.
Yeah, they're really making it happen. And the only way to really keep up, oh my God, this is pre-internet. Woo! Look out for this one. I used to get sporting news.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I used to get sporting news. So then I would know, they would have listed who the top players are. Like Tony Gonzalez was like tight end. I was like, oh, and he also played basketball. Who's this guy? So you get to see rankings of all these players, and I was like, how the hell are these guys getting ranked? How does this happen? But I didn't know about camps and all that. See, in New York, you know about basketball camp, you know about AAU, you know about all that. Even baseball, like you even knew more about that. Football really wasn't. We didn't really know that much. Like Jersey, that's why they're so far ahead of us. Because Jersey, they were about it, but Jersey is way more country than more space, more land, more. It's more suburban. So that's what they're about. You
got a lot of tight ends coming out of New Jersey. I know that much.
Yeah, we like city urchins. You know what I'm saying? We concrete jungle. We rock, we tough, but we got to stay slim and prim because we also got to run.
Yeah. Yo, so Roger, let me ask you, hey, it's 3:33 somewhere. You know what that means. It's time to roll the fuck up. It never fails, man. I'm pre-programmed to look at the clock when it hits 33. It happens every fucking time. So let me ask you about your Ohio State experience, because this is a powerhouse program, like a powerhouse program, which means you are getting 5-star recruits, hundreds of them. What is it? Every single person who comes in who puts on the crimson and gray or silver or whatever the fuck you guys call that shit.
Scarlet and gray.
Yeah, see, scarlet and gray. I didn't even know.
Right. Scarlet and gray, baby.
Scarlet and gray.
My bad. My bad. No I don't hate on the Buckeyes no more. No disrespect.
Sure.
Which is a big thing.
The motherfucking homie played for him.
Exactly. Yo, see, Roger, Kerry just said it. That's a big fucking deal for me to rescind my Ohio State hatred.
Because he literally always hated on him. And I
Like-
was always like, come on, man.
Nah, it was a pure hatred. Like, pure hatred.
Guys are talking about Ohio and high schools and stuff. Remember Alonzo Spellman?
Yes.
Hell yeah, remember Lonzo Spellman?
Yeah.
Number 90. Hell
Yeah.
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 Nothing but stickers on his helmet. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that's
He
why
had
I love-
layers of stickers.
I love that about them and Michigan, like the stickers on the helmet, like, oh shit, like I'm balling. That means I'm balling. Like you wanted those stickers on your helmet.
All right, so so in high school, I will give Cameron High School in West Virginia all the credit in the world. You know what our helmet stickers were? Now, mind you, our mascot was a dragon, which was cool as fuck. Yeah, Cameron Dragon. We were the only ones in the fucking tri-state area who had that one. Our helmet stickers were skull and crossbones. Yeah, totally random, right? So it looked so cool because you could poke out. You could the eyes. You could take them out of the skull and bones in the mouth, so you could leave one eye in or two. It was so fucking cool, dude. It looks so fucking cool. I don't know why the skull and crossbones, but that's what we had.
Damn.
Yeah, no, it's so fucking dope.
Before you get into Ohio State, I have this question. Was Ohio State your first choice, first only, or who else were you looking at? Who else really wanted you?
That's a good question.
Decide to go there.
I could have went anywhere in the country, man, really. But my first letter I got was from Colorado. I might have told you this, Joe, a while back ago. Colorado. Eric Bieniemy was
Buffalo.
George Hemingway and Eric Bieniemy was my host, and it was one of the craziest.
Yeah.
And just off the chain, man. I mean, first time I seen
Bill McCarthy, head coach.
Yeah, Bill McCarthy, head coach. Everybody was fucking his daughter.
Everybody. Oh my God.
She was getting pregnant by the quarterback that died of cancer.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was just crazy. But then Bo Schembechler, Michigan was second.
Okay.
Then Ohio State when John Cooper's sorry ass left. He's recruiting me at from Arizona. He's recruiting me from Arizona.
Yeah.
Because Earl Bruce wasn't recruiting me at Ohio State.
Okay.
As soon as John Cooper came, I really lost interest in everybody else. But I went to Colorado because they were the first team to recognize me, in high school.
Yeah.
And so those were my three choices. I went, but I could have went anywhere in the country, really.
That's what's up, man.
That's a good fucking question. That was a good question.
Yeah.
So what ultimately made you choose Ohio State?
Yeah. Just being close to home.
Yeah.
And I had a baby coming and shit, man. Start getting pussy and shit,
Got you. Yeah.
Well, that'll do it. That'll do it.
That kept me close to home.
Yo, so what's the most amount of Buckeye stickers you ever had on your helmet?
Shit, I mean, I played with Cooper years, man. The best I did against Michigan was a 13-13 tie, man. You could never Cooper could never coach, man, and we could never come through with the big win, man.
Yeah, because
Michigan
at the time, who was rocking with Michigan at that
Elvis
time?
Gerbach, they had
Elvis.
And they had the Heisman Trophy. He the one who did the pose on
Desmond Howard.
Oh, yeah, you were on that team. Yeah, Desmond posed on you.
Yeah, I was on the sideline.
He said it wasn't on me, Kerry. Goddammit.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. What was happening on the sidelines when Desmond posed on you like that? Because that's an iconic moment in college, not just even college sports history, just sports history.
He shut us down, man. He just kind of broke the back on us with that shit.
Yeah, he sapped the wind out of your sails.
Yeah, he sure did.
Ooh-wee. Well, listen, don't feel bad because he did it in the NFL too, as he went on the way to win a championship. So I mean,
he was a great player. Had a great career.
I mean, listen, man, great players do great things even against other great players. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Oh wow, you were there in person for that iconic ass moment.
Yes, I was.
yeah.
Yes, I was. In my last 2 years, I can say this: Ohio State gives an award for the most valuable player of the Ohio State-Michigan game, win or lose.
Yeah.
I won that motherfucker twice because I was out there doing my thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about.
Motherfucking.
Wow. I'm talking about.
3-3, baby, representing.
You know what I'm talking about?
You're goddamn right.
That's right.
This shit just gave me goosebumps.
I
Fucking love it.
That's why we're here. That's right.
Fucking love
But
that shit.
also, let us not be remiss, because you were a stud yourself, and you played with some fucking monsters.
Yeah, so who's the best football player you ever played on the field with? In college.
In college, I played against some good guys, man. I would probably say on my team, some great guys. Robert Smith was probably one of the best running backs I played against.
Love that guy.
Played with.
Love that guy.
Yeah, he called his own shot. And we had this guy coming from Kentucky. I forgot the coach's name. But Robert was in his books and all that.
Yeah.
Robert quit for a year.
He did.
They ended up firing that coach the next year. And Robert came back and had a great career at the house.
I love it.
I was going to say, even his NFL career was short.
Because he was like, I want to be a doctor. And he quit. And I was like, you were like the best running back? What are you doing? Yeah. And then something else happened. And then he was playing again. And I was like, whatever happened, I'm glad it happened. Because this dude is dope.
Eddie George, good running back.
Where was
Yo, you ever catch him in practice with that stand-up running style?
Oh, yeah. They ain't like going against me because I should lick them, boy.
I'm going to say, all that stand-up running style, that's a big target to hit.
Yeah,
Joey was there too, right?
Gallaudet?
Yeah.
Yep, Joey Gallaudet. Actually, he played. We had the quarterback that transferred from Notre Dame, Kent Graham. He ended up with the Giants.
He ended with the Giants. I know.
Yeah.
Kent Graham. Fun fact: when Denver Broncos was running through everybody when they had Terrell Davis and all that, Kent Graham and the G's beat the Denver Broncos to destroy that undefeated season with a last-second throw to Amani Toomer. Thank you. Yeah. Michigan Wolverine. Anyway.
Trying to think what else. Robert Smith, Eddie George, Ken Graham.
Gallaudet.
Kurt Herbstreit was there.
I saw at the time.
Kurt Herbstreit was there too at the time.
Kurt Herbstreit was there. Okay. That's right.
He was the walking encyclopedia, you know what I'm saying? He knew all the questions, asked all the questions. So that's why
his
right
career
now
was already being laid out.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I will give you a side note on Joey Gallaudet. That year that he held out in the NFL, he's from Bel Air, Ohio, so it's summertime and there's only so many basketball courts in that area. It's not a basketball area, so kind of like anybody who can play always ends up at the same ones. And we're running, and all of a sudden Joey Gallaudet comes, and it's just like, that's motherfucking Joey Gallaudet. And they were like, listen, you're fast and really quick. You got to cover him. I was just like, did you hear what I just said? That's Joey Gallaudet. Yo, do you know how many times this motherfucker dunked on me?
I was going to say a dunk fest.
What?
That dude had hops.
What? Yo, Roger Harper, he could get up.
He wore the same size shoes as me. We both wore 13, and his hands was as big as mine. He's only about
short,
6 foot.
I'm gonna say he's a short dude.
I mean, I didn't expect him to be putting his face at the rim.
Oh yeah,
dude, he could get up, man.
And here's another thing about Ohio State. For some reason, they are, in terms of, we can identify the schools that normally get the fastest athletes. All the schools in Florida, we understand that. Schools in California, schools in Texas. But for some weird reason, Ohio State gets some of the fastest dudes in the entire country all the damn time.
Yep.
Joey Gallaudet, Terry Glenn, Ginn Jr. I mean, what is it about Ohio State that they just attract the fastest dudes to play football? Like, not just of all time, just of all time. What is it?
It must be something in our water, because we do produce a lot of fast guys. And
Man, y'all produce a lot of fast guys.
A lot of fast guys and fucking middle linebackers.
Safeties, DBs. They've been calling Ohio State University for a minute.
Yeah. Until LSU took that mantle from them.
Yep. My class, me, Lonzo Spellman, Steve Tovar, y'all remember that name at all? Linebacker. We was the first class at Ohio State to start leaving as juniors. There's a bunch of us that left as juniors.
Yeah.
Robert Smith the following year. So we had that whole class of guys. We had a lot of guys that excelled and went to the next level.
All right, so in a big program like Ohio State, whenever you come in as a freshman, what is it like in camp? Because it's all 5-star recruits. It's all alphas. But here's the funny thing. They might all be 5-star recruits, but Roger Harper, I know when you got there, you're looking at some of these people like, you fucking suck. Like, you're no good at this game. What the fuck?
How they get you? How they come up with you?
Yeah, like, because even in, Division II football was like that. It's like, any level of college football that you were pretty fucking good in high school. So when you get to camp as a freshman, everybody's trying to, get their position and find their spot. But I'm looking at some of the people. We had a lot of walk-ons in Division II. Like, a lot of walk-ons. And it's just like, why are you even here? You're never going to see the field. What the fuck are you here for? Shit like that don't happen at Ohio State.
Yeah. Ohio State has a lot of walk-ons, too. Ohio State is a walk-on's dream, just to put on a pair of pants or put that helmet on, So we had a lot of walk-ons.
Well, you start out with like 120-something players every summer, right?
Yep, we do. Summer conditions and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I was a Ohio High School Player of the Year, and I came to Ohio State as an athlete. They didn't know where I was going to play, and so I ended up getting redshirted. We had, I don't know if you guys remember Jeff Graham, wide receiver. He was all everything at Ohio State, but he ended up getting drafted by the Steelers and played with them for a while. Then
okay.
Played with the Jets.
Okay. Yeah, I remember.
Yep, I remember.
Yep. So I had to wait my turn. So while waiting my turn, going against the DBs at the starting DBs at Ohio State, like Ron Zook, the head coach for Florida State. He recognized me and asked me to play defense. He told me I'd get on the field quicker. So I was like, that was my move. So it was a blessing that I was able to transition, because a lot of guys really can't transition from one position to another, especially in college. And
especially offense to defense, because you're going from I want to get into the end zone to I'm going to kill somebody, and that's two different mindsets. So
that, like I said earlier, I didn't start playing until I was a sophomore, and so I was lanky as hell, and I thought I had a little speed. I found out that I didn't. Once I joined track to get faster, and then I realized what true speed was about. But I started as a receiver, and of course my first number was what? 80, of course, because even though I hated the guy, I'm a Giants fan, and the Giants and San Francisco definitely had a rivalry back then. But I was like, 80 is the receiver number, obviously. But then as it kept going along, senior year we had that thing too, where our coach for some reason thought that we should only play 11 on offense and 11 on defense. This is high school. I don't know why he had that idea, but again, he wasn't a great coach. But that's a whole other story.
It don't work in high school. You got
exactly. You play your best players all the time. All the time. Your best players play 80 plays a game. No,
exactly.
Anyway, so I'm standing there. We're playing this team from upstate, and they have this quarterback who is like literally Randall Cunningham. This he's like there, do everything. And so they asked the question, do you want to go in on offense or defense? Like I have the offensive coach asking me, and I have the defensive coach. and I'm looking at the situation. I personally did not like my high school quarterback. He was a piece of shit. I'll tell him to his face. Doesn't matter to this day, because that shit never dies. But I was like, defense. You know what? This is where it's at. Got in there, and it was a whole nother experience because
You gotta have that mindset.
you got to have that mindset to be able to do something, to line up and say, I can beat you on this route. I know this route. You don't know it, and I got you. And then whatever athletic ability I have afterwards is what I have.
Mm-hmm.
But to be on the other side and say,
I'm stopping you.
you may not know what you're doing, but I have a good idea. And no matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter because I'm going to shut your ass down.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different thing. And then to be able to do that,
It's funny that we all followed the same path because I went to college as a slot receiver, clearly at 150-some pounds. Where else are they going to put me? And I'm running, somewhere in the mid-4.3s, so they're just like, oh, you can fucking run. And, I'm buried in the depth chart because I'm only 160 pounds and I'm a freshman, and I ain't like that shit. And we were doing one-on-ones in practice, and they were like, yo, anybody want to cover some wide receivers because we've only got like 6 DBs today? And I was just like, yeah, fuck it. I'm not doing anything today anyway. And I made a play on the first fucking one-on-one, and the DB coach is like, you want to play corner? I was like, yeah, fuck it. And that's all it took. And I switched to corner, and I played corner the rest of my fucking career and loved every second of it. And now I actually like corner more than any offensive position.
Absolutely. Corner is one of those positions, too. As much as they call the wide receiver the divas, I mean, on the other side,
the corners are the biggest divas you will ever meet.
You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even a big shit talker. The only time I started talking shit is if a receiver started talking shit to me, and I was like, you have no idea what you just activated. Because now I'm not going to shut up the entire game. This is going to be a major problem for you. And I could be a talker if I want to be. But I also did that switch from corner to safety. And I have to say, like, I loved my time at corner. And I knew what my time was at corner. And then when I moved to safety, I knew that was the right decision. Because I lost maybe a step or two, but now my awareness was at an all-time high. I could diagnose the play. I would call the play out before the shit even happened. I've seen it. I've watched film. I've seen their tendencies. And so just being in the backfield, watching the whole thing unfold before it even unfolds, man, there's nothing like that. And just to say, I know everything that you're going to do. And so I'm just going to just tell my guys what to do to stop you. And just hopefully they execute. Because there's nothing you can do that I haven't seen.
Roger, you're gonna love this one.
That's a whole nother level. That's amazing.
One of the reasons I love switching to defense so much, and especially playing corner, dude, I didn't watch one goddamn second of film my entire career.
You played on reaction. And
yep, here he is in front of me. I got this guy. He's not faster than he probably thinks he's faster than me, but he's not. And I could jump. I had over a 40-inch vertical, so I could high point. And being this short, quarterbacks always thought they could just throw it over your head. It's not going to happen. But, dude, I started smoking weed in college and shit. I was just like, yo, I ain't trying to learn this goddamn playbook. Our playbook was like this fucking thick. I was just like, this is stupid. So many sets and things, and as a wide receiver, you had to learn every single position because in certain sets you're the X.
Yeah,
you might be the Y on this one and the Z on this one. And then if somebody goes down, then you got to go fill in another spot. I was just like, wait a minute, corner, all I have to do is cover this guy or this zone. Yeah, I'm over here. This is awesome. That was laziness on my part. But once you get into actually playing corner against some real talent in front of you, that shit is so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
And so Joe, I think this is probably why I love the word so much. Once I really made that switch to safety, and then I was able to diagnose everything, and then I love to hit, so I would come up and hit. I probably heard a few times that I had moxie. So
kids got boxy. Kids got boxy.
I was a coach one day too, but I just don't have the time. But yeah. I mean, there's.
Oh, I loved hitting people until I got to college and everyone was 4 times my size. It didn't matter how fast you go. It's like running into a tree.
It is.
They don't move when you hit them.
That's when you learn where your hit target should be.
Shoestrings.
I had to learn that lesson because I was like shooting a little bit higher than I should have been.
Well, you're also very tall, so that.
Yeah. So then I had to start shooting a little lower. That's all right. But then once I hit that weight room, then I could get a little higher again. But still.
Nah, I was shoestringing everyone to death, man. Until
shoulders, I can tell you right now. I know you feel me on this one, Roger. Shoulders, elbows, all that, forearms, wrists.
Yeah, I broke my forearm twice, man. I already know. Shit.
Dude, walking off the 18th hole today, my left shoulder was just like, yo, you play too much football, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like my whole situation. It's just like it reminds me all the time. I'm like,
I mean, I'm smart. I wasn't stupid. I'm just like, they're all giants. There ain't no ego out here. I'm shoestringing everyone to death until I caught our backup running back in the ankle with my face mask, and I broke his fucking ankle. And then after that, I stopped hitting my own teammates in practice. Because I'm going for your fucking ankles. I don't care. You're not running me over. And it was just like, all right, I'm not hitting anybody anymore. I just hurt our backup running back. Look at, he's in a fucking cast. I caught him, though. Right in the side of the ankle.
No, well, see, there's also... And see, okay, so now that we watch the game now, we don't play. We watch the game, and we see stupid-ass penalties happen. And we're like, come on, man, that was dumb. But then I stop, and I'm like, that was all emotion.
Yep.
Because there are times, and I'm like, fuck, I would have did the same shit. I think about it, I'm like, I would have probably tried to knock his head off right then. And I know it would have been a penalty, but I'd have been like, the shit that he just did to me the last play, I cannot let that slide.
We're also from a bygone era, though. We're from an era where you did try to fucking kill people.
Exactly. Now
This is
it's
true.
They no more hits like.
Even if if it's a clean hit, you hit somebody too hard, they're gonna throw a flag on you.
Heck yeah. I can't stand it.
I hate every second of it.
Well, because I think, but I think now they're starting to at least review it more. Whereas if you hit someone in the chest when they first implemented that rule, it was a flag. There was nothing to do about it.
All right, so there was a transition, and I knew this was going to happen, and I knew it would take a few years. Yeah. So there was the transition to where they changed the target, and it just took a few years for players to readjust where the target is, because you see some of these players shoulder to chest just rocking fucking
but
people
now.
now.
It's on the refs now to realize it was because what they don't get is you give them a violent hit to the chest. Your head and neck, it's going to rock. That's just momentum.
Well, the other thing that happens...
It looked like you got hit in the head, but you didn't. You got hit in the chest, and it's all momentum.
Well, the other thing that happens, Kerry, is the offensive player always lowers as they come in for contact.
Lower. And they have an account for that.
You have some natural reaction.
It is.
You can't stop it.
Especially running backs. Running backs are tough. You know, they dip all the time. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to let him hit me in the sternum, break my ribs?
No, so when the offensive player lowers that head, the defensive player has already picked their target. And even if you roll your neck like they teach you in fucking junior high and shit, you're still going to hit him with your forehead. It might not be the top. I don't care how far you roll. It's still going to be your forehead. It's cracking him right in the chest. And when they bring that helmet down, they throw the flag every time, and it's just like... I mean, how many times this whole season did they throw a flag on the offensive player for initiating the head contact? Like twice?
They don't really.
I've hardly seen it. Shit.
But I will say,
that play right there, it changes the game sometimes.
Yeah.
It changes the whole dynamic of the game. It switches the momentum.
Well, not only that, now you've got your defensive players all playing on their heels now. Like, shit, here we go. It's we got this fucking crew out here today.
Exactly.
All right, so Zoom is telling me...
Blunts, one of my favorite players, Mel Big Blunts, who love to come up and hit.
Hey, people didn't want to get hit by that blunt.
Jack Tatum would be in jail.
Oh, yeah.
Still alive.
Dick...
Ohio State, yes.
Dick Night Train Lane
Oh my God, he would be under the jail.
Dude, he used to literally clothesline people. All right, fellas. So this Zoom meeting says that we got to upgrade or re-up, and
What we got next week?
let's see. It was the Bengals this week, so I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
You guys are awesome, man.
We did. We already did the Falcons. We did the Bengals. We did the Texans.
You guys are good, man.
Oh, we love football, man. We really.
Football, he's trying to give it to the people, man.
Yeah, man, we really, really fucking love this game for real. Just the NFL. Like, I don't even watch college football. I'm just an NFL head. It's some team that sucks. Maybe the Lions.
Okay.
Whoever it is, we're gonna give you what it is. Their latest, greatest, probably not that great, but and what they should do, and probably what they won't do, and why they'll still suck next year.
Yeah, I think off the top of my head it might be the Lions. So I don't know. I'll fucking we'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know. It's not like we got to do a whole lot of research. These teams suck anyway. So, guys, you guys know I appreciate your time, and I will be in touch. We text all the time. It's fucking dope. So, RIPP 333, and then we're out. Perfect timing. So, let me pop in my camera and tell everybody. I appreciate you guys for coming through and listening to the homies talk about football, because it's just a bunch of people that love football and have become friends, and this is all we do. I smoke weed and we talk about football. So I don't know. I think it's the Lions next week. I'm not real sure. I could look it up, but I'm being lazy right now, and I'm gonna go hang out with the Wolf. So until next time, what is today? Tuesday. Let's see. I've moved Beat Boutique to Friday. So Beat Boutique, March's Beat Battle is this Friday. So I will see you guys on our schedule. Will be Friday. Other than that, you'll see me live mixing, because I got records to mix and things to do. So until next time, everybody.